BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Welcome to Rice TVX and today's episode of Rice Rewind. This is a series where I'm going to be re-releasing old interviews. I'm always encouraging viewers, especially newer viewers, to make sure that you're checking out and exploring my channel. A lot of those older interviews end up getting missed and people don't see them, so I'm going to be re-releasing them in this series. And I've had the honor and privilege of interviewing John McAfee more times than anybody else in the world, a total of 7 times. And he also recorded a speech for a conference that I attended in 2019. That's going to be released in a future episode of Rice Rewind. The first 2 interviews that I did with John, I was working as a contributor for World Alternative Media. The first interview took place November of 2018, and the last 7th interview took place August of 2020. He was arrested October the 5th, 2020 by Spanish authorities for the tax evasion charges in the United States. And he was ultimately found dead June 23rd, 2021. With the re-release of these interviews, there is a bunch of unreleased, never before seen footage. I started recording the interviews as soon as John got on the line, and I would edit out those portions once the interview started. So you get to watch over 3 hours of unedited John McAfee. Before we get into it, make sure you visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. Plus, you can find my social media links, contact information, get Rice TVX merch coming soon via the shop, and more. If this is your first time ever watching any of my videos, check out and explore my channels. Make sure you subscribe to Rice TVX and Rice TVX2, both can be found on YouTube. And hit the notification bell to get alerted to new videos. Also, you can follow me on Odyssey and Library, where I have my full catalog of videos plus extra content. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. If you want to support Rice TVX and what I do directly, I have my PayPal, Cash App, plus my cryptocurrency addresses via my Cointree link below in the video description. You can also join my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more, with 4 different levels of membership, all offering something different. If you are looking to purchase and invest in precious metals, gold and silver are both good safe haven assets to hedge against the financial collapse we are experiencing. Check out Money Metals Exchange. I partnered up with them and you can get a free ½ ounce of silver. Visit moneymetals.com, be a first-time buyer, purchase a minimum of $100, and use the promo code RICE. You get a free ½ ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel. I will include links down below for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything I talk about on today's show.
I think it's going all right. Are we online?
We're not live or anything. I'm just going to record this.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, I figured that would be kind of appropriate. So, how's your day been?
It just started.
That's cool. Mine too. I was telling your wife yesterday, I'm actually a gentleman's club DJ, and I work till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So, and I had
so you understand that the morning starts sometimes afternoon.
Yeah, about 11:30, 12 o'clock. So,
right. Same with me.
I'm right there with you. You mind me asking, where are you located?
On Hatteras Island, off the coast of North Carolina.
I thought you were in North Carolina because I'm in Winston-Salem.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, you're not far away.
No, not at all. Do you still have your mining facility in Raleigh?
No, I quit. I resigned from MGT a year and a half ago.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was your company or how that worked. Okay. I wasn't 100% sure if you were going to make it.
I made it.
Well, I'm glad to see you, man. It's actually a real big surprise. I was watching before we get started, you got a minute? You got plenty of time?
I do. You bet.
Okay. I was watching your, and I guess I'll ask this a little bit in the interview too, though. But I saw your keynote speech at Malta.
Yes.
And I was really, really surprised to hear you say the things that you said, man.
Why?
Well, you just don't see a person with a lot of power and money calling out people with money and saying we need to change the world for the future, for our kids and our grandkids. And I thought that was very, very commendable, because you don't see a lot of that kind of stuff taking place in the space.
Well, here's why.
Seems to
I'm
be about
73.
technology.
I was the oldest man in that room. I see my end coming over this horizon out from the sea, and it could be soon. So I do not have time for bullshit, for self-interest, because what interest is self-interest at the end? So it has nothing to do with my personality or my character. It simply has to do with the fact I'm 37 fucking years old.
I feel you. Hey, John, would you mind giving me just one quick second? My cat's going really crazy. I need to tell my girl to wash the cat so he doesn't.
You bet.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry about that, man. My cat has a mind of his own, and he likes to show.
All cats do.
As soon as I stop paying attention to him, he wants to go crazy. So I had to wake his mom up. I have her watch him, because I got John McAfee, and I got him on hold. Need you to watch the cat. So I'm actually a little bit nervous, man. I've interviewed a lot of people, man, but I don't know why I'm nervous talking to you. So I'm just going to try to get over this fact here.
You shouldn't be nervous. I am far more ordinary than anybody that I'm talking to right now.
No, I know. You did an interview with a friend of mine, Ken Bozak.
Yes, I remember Ken.
I guess you met him at the blockchain on that cruise.
On the Asia cruise or the European cruise, yes.
That was a pretty cool little deal. So I thought that was a nice interview that you did. All right. Is there anything that you don't want me to talk about or ask you about?
I prefer that you not ask me anything about the allegations that I ate those 9 children in Cincinnati back in 1999. I refuse to answer
about that.
Other than that, anything's open.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 3 count and do a little intro and get this thing underway. Make sure we're recording. And we are. Get my notes out. I'm not usually this organized, so. All right.
I'm always disorganized.
I've been trying to organize more, because I've been noticing a lot of stuff been slipping between my fingers from not keeping myself as organized. All right, so 3, 2, 1. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. This is Chris Ricecrypto, and I am with World Alternative Media. And today I am joined by the infamous John McAfee, who needs no actual introduction. So John, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for asking me. It gives me something to do.
How's your day going today?
I just woke up.
Just woke up, just like I did. So
Absolutely.
starting the day off late. I guess we could call it West Coast time. So now, John, you're an antivirus software pioneer, one-time fugitive. You ran for president in 2016 as a member of the Libertarian Party, and you've announced on June 3rd of this year that you're going to be running for president of the United States again in 2020 on a pro-cryptocurrency platform.
You bet.
Now, I've been seeing a lot of really interesting things, especially just over the past couple of days in your Twitter feed, about basically talking to the effect of that you don't really feel like you would actually get voted in as president, and you're actually not really encouraging anybody to vote at all, period. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, absolutely. Let us be realistic. You know, and I certainly know, And everybody listening to know, if they know anything about me, they know one thing. I could never be the president of the U.S. I would also make probably the worst president. No. Why? Why can't I be? Because this country is ruled by two very powerful competing gangs, the Republicans and the Democrats. And they are gangs, my friend. Trust me. They have taken our Constitution and subverted it over the past 50 years into something that they can use as a tool against us, the people. Now, how do I know this? Listen, I ran in 2016. I will tell you about politics. It is lies, deceptions, dubious alliances, vote buying, underhanded tactics on into infinity. And I jumped into, was engulfed by, and I swam through that for almost a year. I know politics, and I know that none of us want anything to do with it, nor with anybody who is involved in it. I'm telling you the truth from my heart. Now, I know I can't win, so why am I trying? I'm not trying to win. I'm with the Libertarian Party, where I've chosen to come back. I abandoned them because I'm not running anymore. However, that was because the first time, this is my first time in politics. So I looked around and said, so this is what you're doing? And I emulated that. In the end, I saw the incredible farce. However, for a year, I had the national stage. And on that time, my platform was, America, you are losing the cyber security race. And if you do, you will lose America. Now, in the intervening 2 years, what's happened? America has become the #1 cybersecurity government. Instead of having our Office of Personnel Management hacked and every employee of the U.S. government stolen, which happened in 2015, for the past, ever since America existed and kept records, including our top secret of classified spies and things, which everybody now had public access to. Who knows how many of those people disappeared into a country? Try to do that today. And not that my voice and my scolding did that, but I am one of the leading cybersecurity specialists in the world. So when I'm talking about that, you damn well better listen. And so America did. This time, it's going to be cryptocurrency. And here my platform is far more important and far greater. Why? Because if we do the right thing, which I'm not sure we will, as crypto enthusiasts, we have, for the first time, a key to free us from our slavery. And if you don't think we're in slavery, think about your life. From our slavery into economic freedom. And economic freedom brings all other freedoms permissionless, peer-to-peer, trustless. Mathematics finally got its act together and said, here, people, here's your gift. Far greater than the gift of fire that was given by the gods thousands of years ago. So this is why I want my children and grandchildren and yours and everyone's to grow up in a free fucking world. Free from a power that controls your economic means of acquiring and selling into a society where no one can either control nor even know about it. Now, I'm going to get fierce resistance, obviously, from banks, from governments, from the people who use fiat to control us.
Right.
But I'm not backing down, and this will be my platform. And when someone asked me, like they did in the Libertarian Party during the first debate many times, they said, Mr. McAfee, what will you do on your first day in the Oval Office? And I'm just going to say, are you shitting me? You're asking an idiotic question in front of a world who's watching, who knows it's an idiotic question, and you're expecting them to join the party and vote? Wake the fuck up. I'm not going to be a first day in office. If you have a valid question to ask me, then please God do so. Trust me, you're going to see this. I'm not putting up any bullshit during this. And every question, Mr. McAfee, what do you think the best thing to do about the Middle East is? I'm going to go, how many of you actually speak Farsi or Arabic? How many of you truly understand the history and current conditions of their religion, their culture, their economy, their way of living? None of you. Then
Right.
What the fuck business do we have making any decisions about what to do? It's not our fucking problem. Neither is it, through our arrogance, a need to go fix a problem we don't understand. I don't care what you talk about. I'm going to bring it back to, because how can we, enslaved people in this country, fed pablum, disinformation, propaganda, which we are willingly eating, do anything about this? In any case, bring it home. We must free ourselves first. And how? Through the blockchain. No, this is going to be a thing. You understand? I'm sorry. I was acting on stage. So.
No, I feel you. It's all good. And I appreciate it. So you had mentioned something.
Next time.
Are you going to be running with the Libertarian Party this time around, or are you creating?
Yeah, because they've already got ballot access in all 50 states and the power to get on national television. So, which I got into last time. But here's the issue. No matter what I say, the libertarian leadership cannot stop me, providing I have enough chits in that little bottle where after every convention they say, we want to see McAfee in the next debate. If my chits count up enough, I'm in. I don't care what I want to say or what you want to think about it. Fuck you. That is now my power. Do you understand? I have stepped out of the arena, out of the rule book, out of the fucking game, and using my fundamental rights. Do I have the support? Yes. Then fuck you. I had the support last time. I promise you I will have the support this time.
Glad to hear it. Actually, I've interviewed Adam Kokesh, who's another one of the.
I know Adam. Now, there's a nice guy.
He said he endorsed you last time around in 2016. And I guess this time around, you guys, if you're gonna run with Libertarian Party, you guys would be competing against each other this time. But
the only thing I have to do to run the Libertarian Party is rejoin the party for $25. That's all I got to do. From there,
I saw something about a disagreement with the Libertarian Party, and where you were talking about possibly running with the Cyber Party.
You know, I looked at that. Too fucking expensive. Do you realize if I don't want votes, I don't have to spend what 99% of all campaigns go to getting votes. Billboards, signs in everybody's yard, local radio station spots. That's where all the money goes. I'm not spending a penny because I don't want anybody's vote anyway. So I will be I'll be the cheapest campaign in American presidential history. That itself would be worthy of note.
So now you're going to be running on a completely pro-crypto, pro-blockchain platform?
That's my only platform. If you want to talk about something else, I will bring it back to that, I promise you.
So anything anybody asks you, you're just going to somehow bring it all back?
Not somehow. You ask me a random fucking question, I'll tell you how I'll answer it.
Yeah, well, what would you do with the European Union, with what's going on with Brexit and all the different situations regarding Italy and situations like that?
My answer is this. How many of you actually visited any part of Europe and spend any time there? Have you lived there? Again, people, you're asking me questions that you have no power, even if I gave you the answer, to implement. You are in a cage. If you don't think in a cage, let me ask you this. You're the average American, reasonably successful, meaning you work for a company 5 days a week, you commute to and from. You have enough time to eat your food, go to bed. If you're not too fucking tired, you get some lovemaking, and you do it again 5 days a week. For how long? 40 fucking years. I ask you this then. If you are free, quit your job right now. Right now. Can you? No. Your mortgage, they will repossess your house, your cars, your kids won't be able to go to private school. You're out in the fucking streets. So no, you can't. What is the definition of slavery? The inability to activate free fucking will.
And what's crazy about that is, like, Kanye West, a lot of people were giving him a lot of slack about talking about how we're still in slavery, but what you're saying actually explains what he was saying very well, that we're in a monetary slavery system. And you just can't.
Yes, I'm married to a black woman where the subject of slavery is very fucking fine. And she's the first to say, we're worse slaves now.
Yeah.
Period. We are worse slaves now. And we are. So if you're a slave, what is the sense of you asking me what I would do when I'm a slave too? So please God, get us out of the fucking prison, then let's talk about what to do. And I promise you, your first order of business is not going to be the European Union. It's going to be right here, right now, with the madness that we are living in. And if you fix that and you have time for that, then ask me. That'll be 50 years.
I think a lot of people don't take that sociological, cultural aspect into play when, like what you said, if you speak Farsi, have you been in Europe? Have you been to these countries? Have you experienced what these people are experiencing?
Yes.
And a lot of times the answer is no.
Most of them. In fact, I've been in jail in 7 of them. That really gets you to know the culture.
So I'm sure. Yeah.
Pardon?
I'm definitely sure that would get you to know the culture, because that's where you're seeing the realness of people.
Yes. And the people who in their country have been put down, and maybe it's because they robbed their liquor store. I don't fucking know. Still, okay. So they're going to tell you stories you'll never read in the newspaper and seldom hear from a politician, no matter how drunk they are, and never hear from the man on the street because they don't know them.
True. No, you're right. Another thing I wanted to ask you about was you were talking about in your one of your Malta speeches, not the keynote speech, but when you were speaking, you were talking about the irony of us, the crypto enthusiasts, basically asking our government permission to use a permissionless system so that we can trust an untrustworthy entity. Since you're going to be running on a pro cryptocurrency platform, I'm just curious, I know you're anti-regulation. Are you going to be pushing that element?
Oh, hell yes. Here's why it's happening now. We're in the bottom of a horrible bear market. We're looking for any kind of solution to save our monetary ass. Even, please God, governments save us. Why do you think we're so low? Who do you think pushed us down here? Please God, this is manipulation at its highest point. Yeah. Knowing that, when you're at the fucking bottom, and maybe we as government come in and help you. Are you going to take it? Fuck yes. Not if I'm on board, though. I ain't going, and I'm going to be tying that fucking ship to the dock with chains. It ain't going nowhere. I promise you. As you said, and those were my exact words, by the way. Okay.
I really enjoyed hearing that.
What is crypto? What's the blockchain? It creates a peer-to-peer, trustless, and permissionless system. Do you see the beauty in that? We don't only have to trust each other because we can't. We're fucking human beings. We're good, we're bad. We love, we hate. We're gentle and we're hostile. Fuck me. So no, we don't have to trust us anymore. It is perfect as long as we remain permissionless. And we can be if we don't voluntarily give permission to the government, which we're trying to get fucking away from. Please, people, see the idiocy of this. No, we are permissionless as long as we refuse to do it. The government says, well, we're going to do our own cryptocurrency. Fuck me, please go ahead. You think we're going to use it? No, we're not with our business. They don't understand this. They go say, well, you have to use it. Well, I'm sorry, we got distributed exchanges now. Good fucking luck. And on top of that, we've got people like Skycoin developing an alternative to the fucking internet, at least for cryptocurrencies. Looks like we will replace the internet. I don't think so. I doubt it. However, for us, it is a completely traceless, distributed mesh network that, goddamn it, we can get into and access the distributed exchanges and each other with impunity. So, good God, we've got Skycoin, distributed systems, and our willingness not to give up. I'm begging you people, don't give up and do not accept the regulations. If we need them, we will fucking implement them ourselves. Please God, see this. I am begging you. You have, for the first time in human history, an ability to take control of your own life and be a free individual. Don't fuck this up. Don't let your greed destroy the finest and greatest opportunity that has yet been offered to mankind. Thank you for that.
It's definitely
important to shut up on these rants.
No, I appreciate the rants. I mean, because these are things that I think people need to hear. I mean, people think of you as a crazy individual. You can spout some wisdom. I think it's stuff that people need to pay attention to because you are a wise man. You've been through a lot. Just looking at your bio, you've been through a great deal. So anything
I would recommend the following. Do not think that insanity cannot bring wisdom. You would be wrong.
I just think it's ironic.
What is insanity? It is stepping outside of the world and seeing it different from everybody else. That's insane. Well, you don't see the same thing we do. You're crazy. Of course I'm crazy. I have abandoned every single aspect of this society that has been pressed upon us by our parents, our teachers, our jobs, our governments. No, I'm out here and I'm seeing something you don't see, and I wish the fuck you could. So yes, I'm crazy by every definition of the word. But don't think that did not give me knowledge and freedom.
Well, people, I mean, okay, so we're both in North Carolina right now, and we had some famous people by the name of the Wright brothers that did some awesome things.
Wanted to fly like birds.
Right, dude, don't you think people thought they were crazy?
They did indeed.
People, I'm pretty sure, thought that Nikola Tesla was crazy. So I think the innovators and the dreamers.
They just thought he was disseminating false information, right? Same thing. But yes, he did the same thing. He stepped out and said, listen, I agree. We've got science and mathematics. We also have our own fucking ears, eyes, and brain to observe disconnected from the crazy mental structure that society has implanted within you. Take that structure off. Take a look. It's nothing like what they told you, even though you're seeing it that way now. It's almost like some fucking science fiction movie where they put something in your brain, turn a switch, and suddenly you're seeing an alternate reality, which is the reality they want you to see.
Yeah, and we've been conditioned this way.
I'm sorry?
We've been conditioned this way. And something that I encourage people to do is to question everything and to use critical thinking, because just because somebody says it's true does not make it true. And I'm finding that more and more today than ever. You know, that a lot of the things we have been taught in school, a lot of the history of humankind, just is, there's something that's not right. There's something that's being hidden, and there's someone who's not allowing us to know that information. And I'm not really sure what the purpose is, but I don't really think that it's cool personally.
No. Well, here's something. P.T. Barnum said that if the overwhelming majority of people believe something, it is absolutely false. I have discovered that to be absolutely true, what he said. Believe me, if the overwhelming majority absolutely know something is true, forget that. We know that's false. Let's move on. It's a fact. Look at it. Look at what people are just hounding out on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram about God knows what. Yes, everybody's going, yes, yes. Well, if everybody's saying yes, I promise you it's no. This is how the world works. I don't know why. I think I have a suspicion it's because of the true insanity that exists in our society. Not the insanity that is measured by, you see something no one in the world does, you must be crazy, but the insanity measured by a society that is controlled by a mindset which is human. We love, we hate. We are generous, we're greedy, we're open, and we're jealous. We are a mixed fucking bag. So you think we can create the truth? No. We've got the truth that's been fought over by these opposing forces, and whoever wins, which is generally determined by what the general public believes, because see, everybody agrees with me, I must be right, then the good side gives up or the bad side gives up. And that's where we're living. So of course, if the majority believes something, it has to be wrong. Good God Almighty, see the truth of that.
It's ironic. This whole thing is ironic.
Is it not?
It totally is. And
by the way, when I run out of scotch, we must desist. All right. I will drink slowly, my friend.
Another thing I wanted to ask you regarding the Malta issue, which kind of goes into what we were talking about with like changing the world. You had mentioned something. You were doing a keynote speech where you looked like you were talking to a room of wealth. You had actually mentioned.
Oh yes, I was talking probably the most wealthy room in the world at that moment.
I think the comment that you made was more money than the Bank of.
Yeah, I mean, these were people who were the original Bitcoin developers who had $5 billion. They were the European financiers that were there trying to figure out how to stop it. No, that room. Listen to God, if they'd shaken out just their right pants pocket, we could have all retired. That's all of us normal people. So no, yes, a super rich group of people. I'm sorry for.
No, it's great. I mean, yeah, but it was a super great group. It was a super rich group of people. And during your keynote speech, you took the time to tell people that those individuals in particular that they needed to dig in their pocket basically and figure out what they could spare, because we need to take this technology of cryptocurrency and blockchain and change the world for our children and our grandchildren. And there's something that I talk about called practice change, which is basically you as an individual, me as an individual, being the change that I want to see in this world. So I really took to what you said, and I want to ask if you can elaborate on not just the monetary aspects, but what are some of the things that you would like to see change in this world for your children and grandchildren and for our future generations to come?
Okay, so 5 years in Belize, I lived in the jungle part-time. Now, when I first moved to Belize, I have an honorary doctorate, so they call me Dr. McAfee, right? But it's a doctor of science, means nothing. When I moved into the jungle, everybody knew me as Dr. McAfee. So mothers would bring their children, babies, to my compound saying, "What's wrong with my baby?" Swollen belly, losing hair, lot skin, starving. I say, "Your child is starving." But no, she eats. What does she eat? Papayas. For how long has she had just papayas? A few months. You can't exist on papayas. So I would take that mother and child, I'd take one of my staff, send her to the dry goods store, get a year's supply of dried beans, rice, dried meats and things they can fucking live on. So this kept happening. And by the way, 2 months later, that same mother would bring a very happy, healthy, smiling baby, except still missing the hair, okay, growing back, going, "Thank you so much." For what? For what? For stepping in? Which is why, by the way, I got into trouble in Belize. Who could not fucking step in? And I did. I started I built lunchrooms, police stations for villages that had none, and supplied them all with food. So the kids at least once a day could have a goddamn meal. So anyways, having seen this, I'm telling these people who sit comfortably at home and donate $500,000 to United Way every year, and they feel fucking comfortable. No, get out there and see it yourself. You that gives $500,000 to United Way, do you also give any money to the poor beggar who says, "Can you spare a quarter?" Even though he's probably lying and was going to buy booze, you still don't? So, no, that's what I said. And please God, do not any of you out there think that I did this because I'm a good man, my character is different. No, bullshit. It's because I'm 70 fucking 3, and I see my end creeping and peeking at me over the fucking horizon. I don't have time anymore for bullshit. That part's over. That's over. But I do have children and grandchildren, and so do you. And if that's not your prime priority, then you have, I don't know what has happened. Something's wrong with your mind, because that is our fucking purpose as parents, caretakers for this fucking planet, to pass on to our children something better than something worse, which has been happening for 4 generations.
Way too long. It's been happening way too long. We definitely need to correct ourselves and take care of our planet.
Indeed.
Now, to get
off, 2 more questions, my friend. We got started a little bit late.
Okay, I apologize. Let me ask you real quick about the Declaration of Currency Independence. Are you still doing that?
That was done by one of my employees not working here, to be frank with you. Okay. I let everybody get their pet project. I really don't know. That's my frank answer. I'm in the middle of all kinds of problems now, which is, I guess, what I've always been in all my life. But nevertheless, I will deal with it soon and tell you.
The McAfee Alliance, is that something that you're working with hands-on?
That is the other thing as well. See, here's what happened. We had Jimmy Watson had taken over as CEO 4 months ago. He has a medical problem. He had a stroke, and he's not capable now of performing that function. I've left him entirely alone during this time. You have no idea how difficult it is to unravel what has been happening. And so, again, sir, I'll have to say, I don't know. And if your watchers go, "What kind of man are you? You're running a company, you done all shit." Well, that's the facts. I'm sorry. Here we are. I took over formally just yesterday.
Yeah, Jimmy told me a little bit, didn't tell me all the specifics, but he told me he was taking a little time off and got me connected with your wife, which is how I got the interview set up. So I appreciate that. And I guess one last thing that I wanted to ask you was, 2 last things. One, which is, I wanted to ask you if you've been researching like any alternate sites versus Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like BitTube and Steam It? Are you promoting or are you behind any of those kind of projects?
I spend my life on the dark net. Why? That's where everything begins. That's where Bitcoin began in earnest. They grab it and go, hey, goddamn, we can use this. Now, I don't care if they were selling hitmen or drugs or prostitution or illegal rhino horns or prostitutes from Taiwan. I don't care. I'm sorry. What I care about is that it started there. And people see how easy it is for no, we had no more criminal activity on the dark net when they adopted Bitcoin. You think they were not doing the same thing on the dollar, the yen, the euro? Wake up. No. So when I say I don't care, that doesn't mean my heart doesn't go out. It means that in the question that you asked, it does not matter. So the dark web, Bitcoin started there. It didn't come out for a couple of years. When it did, it came out with a flourish. The dark web is the incubator for our currencies, our systems, our platforms. Wake up. So now I spend my time there. Why did I bet the $2 million or $1 million Bitcoin at the end of 2020, which is 2 years away? Because I hang out on the fucking dark web. I promise you, the plans that are happening there, it's going to be $1 million. I can't lose. So other than that, I spend time on Twitter because that keeps me busy. I have people who help me and sometimes answer for me. And I have a life. And I'm 73. I should have been retired and fishing out here on this beautiful water instead of sitting here talking to you.
Right.
So this is the reality of Team McAfee. I'm back in charge, but I'm giving you the truth of who I am. You asked me a question. Frankly, I didn't try to snow you and go, well, we're done. No, I said, fuck, I don't know. I won't know until I dig into it.
And I appreciate you being honest and being straight. That's exactly what we need in the world today. And if you don't know, you just don't know. So,
well, the other thing is, if you're not honest, goddamn, trying to keep up with your lies will consume your entire intellectual capacity. I have no more time for that. I'd rather say on an important subject, what will you do with this important thing that you created? I don't fucking know. I haven't looked at it yet. End of story. Don't like it? I'm sorry, it's the truth. People don't generally like the truth. And yet when they buy the packaged pancake garbage truth that is twisted into something pretty, they buy that shit. You don't buy this. I'm being me, and the truth is being told. Take it or leave it, people.
Truth hurts sometimes.
Pardon?
The truth hurts sometimes.
All the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Hey, John, is there any...
Okay, now this is my last single scotch, my friend.
All right.
Drinking, and I will gratuitously give you one more question.
Is there anything that you want to add before we wrap things up?
Yes. And this has nothing to do with crypto, although it does in some way. People seldom do what they love because they're afraid. Well, I like art, and I'm a bad artist, but who gives a shit? Picasso was a bad artist by any standards of the time, okay? Couldn't even tell if people look like people, right?
Right.
Yet I'm involved in a project that's tokenizing a Picasso from the original Picasso family, virtually stolen, that does not much over $1 million. That's going to be tokenized and auctioned. And that's coming in December. The world is changing. And yet, if you don't do what you love, what happens? You wake up every day going, oh God, I got to work. I got to go to work. I wish this were Friday. I think that's most of us. Wouldn't you like to wake up and say, God, thank God, I can't wait to get to work. And the weekend comes, oh, God damn it, they won't let me come in this weekend and work. That's how you should live. If you're not, stop what you're doing, because you're killing your life and your soul. And doing nothing, I promise you, is better than doing something you don't love. That's my advice to all of you, the old ones, the middle-aged, the teenagers, those who can still listen and understand simple English. This is my advice.
We appreciate that wisdom, John. So, John, thanks
Thank
again for
you.
joining us, man. I really appreciate you doing this interview. I ask anybody this is their first time ever checking out World Alternative Media, please give a like, subscribe. Also, check out my personal YouTube channel at Rice Crypto. And we always encourage everybody to be the change by practicing change. Thank you, John.
And thank you, sir. And you're my neighbor. Come visit me sometime. Call first. I have some serious security. Okay, so
I've heard about your security.
my apologies. They have made a statement on this island. It's taking me forever to repair their relationship with the locals. But yeah, call first.
I'll definitely be in touch.
All right, thank you, sir.
I appreciate it, John. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Let me sit over there. The light's better. Hey, Janice? Janice? Can you bring up a cigarette? There we go. I think that's better.
Yeah, that's good lighting. Looks nice. So, you just waiting on your cigarette and you want to get started?
Oh yeah, I don't mind smoking while I talk. In fact, I'll be smoking throughout.
No, I know. I've interviewed you before.
Okay, good enough.
I'm the guy who I live here in North Carolina. I don't know if you remember that.
I'm sorry?
I'm here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We had talked about. Yeah, we had talked about. Yeah, I know you are now, but your house is in North Carolina, isn't it? Your home is in North Carolina, though, isn't it?
Yeah, on Hatteras, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. So are you pretty much good to go to start? You ready, or you need a minute?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, we're recording, so I'm just going to do a like a three count, and then we'll just go ahead and start this thing. So.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. I am Chris Rice Crypto with World Alternative Media, and today I am joined by a returning guest, the infamous John McAfee, who's actually joining us in exile on an island called the Great Exuma. And this is a man who's definitely never shy to share his opinion on anything. So, John, again, I want to thank you for coming out and joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me on. You're giving me something to do for the morning.
That's awesome. You know, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is right now, I mean, the last time I interviewed you, we had talked about your run for presidency in 2020. And it looks like right now you're kind of running that presidential campaign in exile.
Yes, I am.
Some people may not be familiar with why you might be in exile. Do you mind elaborating a little bit about what's been going on?
Well, you know, as a libertarian, I'm one of those libertarians that believe that income taxation is theft. That I have a natural right, a fundamental right to earn a living. And anything that diminishes that right is illegal and unlawful. And the government diminishes it by making me work for them for 4 months out of the year. Well, I take issue with that. 8 years ago, I simply stopped paying taxes, period. I sent them letters every year saying I am not filling out an income tax return. I believe taxation is theft. You know where I live. And so for 8 years, they left me alone. Now that I'm running for president on a platform against the IRS, among other things, they took issue, and on the 22nd of January, convened a grand jury to charge me, my wife, and 4 of our campaign workers with unspecified felonies.
Oh, wow. So does that mean that there's warrants out for your arrest in that sense?
Does that mean what?
Does that mean that you have warrants out for your arrest?
Well, I don't know yet. I mean, there's been no result from that grand jury. They're either still deliberating or they're being fed more data, or the IRS prosecutor is keeping something else secret. You know, I may not have been found guilty by the grand jury, guilty enough to be charged,
Right.
or I may have. So in any case, I'm staying here throughout the duration because I cannot risk being arrested while I'm on my campaign because I will lose access to the public. Now, after this is over, I'll be happy to turn myself in.
Okay, that makes complete sense. And speaking of your campaign, do you want to elaborate a little bit about the platform that you're running on specifically? Because that's one of the reasons why I like talking to you about this subject.
Oh, my platform is very simple. I believe that our government has gone insane, that it is paranoid of us, its citizens, that it has become the world's policeman to a ridiculous point where we're involved with giving advice to governments, where we as a nation do not speak their language, understand their history, their culture, their religion, their political affiliations or alliances. And we have the arrogance to tell these people what to do. And if they don't do it, we drop bombs on them. Now, this is another aspect of our insanity. I think that we as citizens know nothing about the truth of what our government is doing. We are fed disinformation from the CIA through the State Department and other parts of our government. And it is not true, none of it. It can't be. Secrets are the main thing that our government does, is keep secrets while spying on us, the citizens, through cameras, through satellites, by affiliations with Google and other places that collect data. So it knows everything about us. We know nothing about it. And so to ask about what would we do about immigration, what would we do about this, it's almost impossible to answer because we don't have the facts.
Right.
We have only the facts that the government wants us to know. So for me, we have to first solve the problem of this overburdening government. We have to get the government to tell the truth. I want to have everybody just voted out and randomly pick people. Would it be any worse? No, it would be much better because whoever was randomly picked would take dozens of years to form a power structure that is as burdensome as the power structure that we currently suffer under.
Okay. So how is everything going with the campaign since you're doing it from not being here in the States? I noticed that you're trying to make you're trying to get some people on a global level, on an international level that are also trying to help campaign for you as well. Can you elaborate why you're taking that stance?
Well, there are a couple of things. The fact that I am in exile is attractive to the news. So I have no trouble in getting my message out. And the fact that I am running a campaign in every country, currently only in England, Ireland, Germany, China, Russia, and Austria. But I intend to be in every country with country managers. Why? People think it's crazy because these people can't vote in Ireland or Russia. However, all of these countries have a great interest in who is going to be POTUS and what the issues are. Why? Because if a warmonger gets in, for example, everybody is shivering and worrying about what the might of the U.S. is going to be manifest as. And if someone who reads books and is a pacifist, that's a different story. So they're all interested. And what I am doing through these country managers is getting videos of me presenting things and people asking questions, which I intend to then display here in the U.S. so that we can finally see why we are so disliked in the world, why America is so distrusted and feared. And I think if we see the truth of this, maybe we'll look in the mirror and change somewhat.
That's awesome, man. That's really great because, I definitely talk about something on a daily basis that I call practice change, where I encourage people to be that change that they want to see in the world, that quote that came from Gandhi. And I think the more of us that be that change that we want to see in this world, the more that we can actually change this world. So I think that's awesome that you put that. Now, one thing, too, that I just noticed recently on Twitter is that you've been posting something about asking people if they want to come to the island of Exuma and volunteer and help out with your campaign.
Yes.
That's something I'm actually considering doing on a personal level, and I'll talk to you about that another time. But do you want to go into that a little bit? Maybe tell people what you're looking for?
because I have to have staff here in order to run a campaign legitimately. I mean, if it's going to be any campaign at all. And I'm asking basically people who are self-supporting, adventurous types who might be bored with their lives and want an adventure to come here, because this is an adventurous place. It's certainly the most beautiful island on the planet, which is why I chose it for my exile. It's a very simple place, 900 people in this town, Georgetown, only 7,000 on the entire island. Now, these are the people, by the way, if I am extradited or an attempt is made, who will be my jurors in choosing whether or not I am extradited back to the States. And I've integrated well into this population here. So yes, anybody who does want to come, if you're truly willing to cooperate and help, please come on down.
Yeah, definitely. And you can check all this out on Twitter. And there's a Google document that goes into some details about some of the specifics and stuff like that. So again, yeah, it's awesome that you're inviting just the everyday person to be able to participate in something like this. That's what I think is really cool about you being so down to earth and open-minded when it comes to things like this. And another thing that you're doing,
I'm an everyday person just like everybody. There's nothing unique about. The only difference between me and anybody else is my name is no. You don't know me anymore.
You're kind of a legend and living legend, man. You know.
All right, but still, it's a legend of name. But
You've done a lot of things in your lifetime.
Pardon?
You've done a lot of things in your lifetime.
Well, yes, I have. That's true. That's because I retired early.
That's good. One last thing I wanted to ask you about was your $1 million Bitcoin bet.
Yes.
Before I go into, I wanted to find out your reasoning behind it. I have an idea of where you're at, but I just wanted to get an idea of like where your reasoning was as to come up to the conclusion that by the end of 2020, one Bitcoin will be worth $1 million, or else you said you would eat your private part, your member.
Well, I base that entirely on the usage of Bitcoin and the extrapolation from its growth, which it is holding. Now, the value of Bitcoin is not the market value that we are trading at. The true value of Bitcoin, and this will become apparent certainly within the next year, is the number of people using Bitcoin for purchases and sales. Please God. If the entire world is using it, we're talking about a $10 million coin or a $20 million coin. And based on pure extrapolation and simple mathematics, I can't possibly lose this bet. The world will come to its senses between now and the end of 2020. I mean, that's 19 months away.
Right. No, it is. And one of the things I was curious is whether or not you were taking in the fact that there's a possibility of the crash of the US dollar.
Well, of course I'm taking it in, because as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency grows, fiats will devalue. That's the other thing, of course.
So I guess since we're on this line right here, what are your thoughts and feelings on the Federal Reserve?
You know, I mean, nothing good, that's for sure. It's probably the worst thing that ever happened to America, and it is one of the key key fulcrums of power that we need to diminish. Centralized power is the Federal Reserve is the epitome of that, and so it's got to go, and it will go on its own. We don't need to do anything. As cryptocurrencies emerge, it will disappear.
Awesome, I like that. Is there anything else that you want to add, John, before we wrap things up?
No, I think you covered the bases, sir.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you joining us. I encourage everybody to like, subscribe, and share this video. Definitely check out my own personal YouTube channel at ricecrypto. John, again, thank you for everything. And I encourage everybody, be the change by practicing change.
I agree. And send me a link. I'll put it up.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
I mean, in terms of external circumstances, I've been better.
I want to get into that.
I'm not as happy as a clown.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to have you in a good mood.
And I'm glad to be here, sir.
How are you doing with
Thank you
time?
for having me on.
How are you doing with time?
I've got 20 minutes, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll go ahead. I'll just do a quick 3 count, and we'll just go ahead and get started with the interview if you're good with that.
I'm good with that. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to yet another episode of the Rice Crypto Show. I am your host, Chris Rice Crypto, and today we are joined by a man who needs no introduction. My 3rd time interviewing the legend himself, John McAfee. How you doing today, man?
You know what? I'm always happy to be on your program. I think you're one of the best interviewers out there, else I would not have been on your show more than once.
I really appreciate that, John. I really do. How's everything going with your presidential run while being on the run?
Well, you know what? The more on the run I am, the more support I get. It's crazy. You may or may not know, the IRS convened a grand jury in America to charge my wife and I at the Mrs. McAfee with crimes against the Internal Revenue Service, which is the income tax collector.
Right.
And we moved to the Bahamas, where they have no income tax, and therefore I cannot be extradited. International law says that the law in the country that you're living in must be broken as well. In other words, if I'm charged with a crime in America, it must be a crime in the Bahamas before I can be extradited. However, they have no income tax, therefore income tax violations are not a crime. So I was living quite happily until 12 days ago, when I got an urgent call from Anonymous, which is an organization that monitors my name and alerts me whenever it shows up in a context that might be a danger to me, right, saying that, they're on the way to pick me up. We're living on a boat, so it only took a few minutes to get our act together and leave. The people showed up hours after we left, idiots, and we are now in Cuba. Cuba, unfortunately, is the only country in the Caribbean, and with access that I can access, that has continually thumbed their noses at America. These people have cojones, balls. They are very brave people, very courageous, and yet some of the happiest people in the world. We're now in Cuba. I regret that it's a communist regime. However, I know nothing about the government. Neither does anyone who has not been here. So I don't want to hear any bad words about the Cuban government.
I saw you make a tweet about that earlier, about you talking about how the American media basically gives a bad reputation for certain.
The Wall Street Journal today had a large article saying that people are starving here, and the government has recommended that they catch rats and eat them. I showed that article to people here in Cuba. They were rolling on the floor laughing. I've been here. I've been out to the backwoods. We were in Holguin, one of the most remote regions, or most cities in Cuba. There is nobody starving. There is nobody eating rats, and everybody looks extremely well-fed, smiling, and joking. So please God, people, don't believe the trash that the American government puts out through its mouthpieces. What are the mouthpieces? The Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, every major newspaper and media outlet in America is now merely a mouthpiece for the American government.
No, you're so right, man. It's really sad what's happening, and people. I try to encourage people to question everything, because people just seem to be really simple and just believe what they're told and what they hear by somebody who looks and seems important. So I definitely encourage people to use their critical thinking skills. I think it's important. So one of the things I saw you tweeting about was you said something about Anonymous that you just mentioned, but what was going on with the CIA and the military in the Bahamas? Were they coming after legitimately?
So again, anytime my name is mentioned anywhere on the internet, I don't care how deep and private and guarded you may think that system is, I promise you, someone in Anonymous is watching. And if it concerns me to the extent that they think it might be a threat, I'm alerted. So what happened was a CIA agent, and I'll out his sorry ass right here on your show. His name is Jeremy Kent, okay? Born in Missouri, who has changed his name now to Patrick Costello, as if that's going to help anything. I have everything about him. I've got his W-2 forms that he reports to the government. I've got the CIA paying his sorry ass. I've got photos. I've got his driver's license, his social security number. Please, God, if you CIA, I'm talking to the CIA now, if you think you can fart without me knowing about it, then you're an idiot. I'm John fucking McAfee. I don't care what you think about my age and my decrepit mind. I'm still the dude. And if I can't do it, my minions will. Please, God, leave me the fuck alone, or I will bring every one of you motherfuckers to the ground.
I love it, man. I love it. It's classic John McAfee. And dude, I mean, I'm glad that you're doing this. I'm glad that you're standing up for not only your own rights, but just showing people the true facts, giving people true information, letting them know what our government is doing that people may or may not be aware of. I appreciate you doing it, man.
Well, you know what? You think it's for me. If I was doing this for me, I would have kept my fucking mouth shut, all right? If I'd kept my mouth shut, none of this would be happening. If I had not trashed the IRS, the SEC, the CIA, if I had not promoted cryptocurrency as the way to free yourselves from fiat currency, which is controlled by your government, which is what you need to feed yourself, to clothe yourself, to put your kids through school, to get medical attention, buy your cars. That is the only power in the world, and we have a way to replace it with something that's not controlled by anybody, yet we control our own finances. I've been speaking out, saying, you want to avoid income taxes, use Monero or privacy coin, et cetera, et cetera. No wonder they're after me, but I have to say it. I have to say it. I have children and grandchildren more than you can count. And I don't know if you, sir, have, but your listeners do. You have to at some point say, I have to live for them. You brought those sorry sons of bitches into the world. You owe them a better fucking world. You do.
I agree.
So
that's why I started.
People say I'm doing this for selfish reasons. What selfish reasons? I'm banished from my fucking home. The home where I kissed my first girl, got a high school diploma, went to the prom, graduated from college, married, had children, bought my first fucking car. It's my home. Do you understand, sir, what that means to me to be banished?
I couldn't imagine, because I haven't been banished. So, I mean, I can't imagine the situation that you're in.
No, it's a horror. So you think the CIA can do more to me? Well, fuck you, CIA. What more can you do? What more can you do?
Talking about the CIA, you mentioned something about all of your international campaign managers being, I'm assuming all of them were poisoned.
Well, I didn't say poison. Let me tell you the facts. Let's start with Jay Pizzle, who is one of my doubles, who is going to give my keynote speech at the blockchain cruise in Europe, run by a very powerful Russian man who has a heart of fucking gold, who agreed and knew that I would not be there, but one of my doubles would be. On the way to the airport, he disappeared. He woke up 10 days later in a hospital from a coma, remembering nothing. At the same time, my head of security was hospitalized with a vague illness which could not be diagnosed. I only have 6 international campaign managers. Why do I have international managers? Because Germany and Ireland and Sweden and Hong Kong are all concerned with American politics. Why? America has the longest arm in the world, and they take a baseball bat and beat those countries that don't toe the line. So of course they're interested. I only have 6 so far. All 6 have been hospitalized in the past 10 days. All 6. One, Patrick Labousse, has been in for 10 days and is in critical condition and is expected another 2 weeks before he will recover. He had to be operated on. I don't know yet what the operation was. Please, God, people, wake up. This is your government. Or do you think God just hates me and is whacking everybody around me? If you want to believe that, please do so. It makes no mathematical sense.
No, and it's completely crazy what's going on. But, you know, again, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate everybody who's working with you, that's helping with the McAfee campaign. And speaking of the campaign and running on the run, you're still running with the Libertarian Party, I assume?
I am. I mean, I have no one else to run with. The Republicans and Democrats won't have me, and I do not have the money to form my own party. The Libertarians, last year, I was beaten by Governor Johnson. Now, he's not running this year.
Right.
Neither is Bill Weld, the senator. Neither is anybody of importance.
Well, how do you feel about Adam Kokesh?
I love Adam. I love Adam Kokesh. He is one of my best friends and a wonderful man. He would make a great president. I would make a terrible president. But let's be honest here. In terms of reach and following, I have 10 times what Adam has. And I would love for him to win. I really would. Unfortunately, I must have the national stage this time. I must be able to tell the American people the truth as I see it. Take it or leave it. Call me insane, paranoid. I don't give a flying fuck, but I will say it. Now, Adam, I love Adam, and I will back him for president. And if he wants to run as my vice president, please, you can get the stage too. But I have to have the stage. I'm sorry, Adam.
And I've interviewed Adam, and I mentioned that to him too, because you both are running with the Libertarian Party, and you share a lot of the same values. So it makes sense that you guys would do this together, because
we should do it together.
You're telling people not to vote for you, and he's telling people that if he was to be elected, that he would become the owner of the American debt, bankrupt the country, and then step down and try to bring everything back down to state and local level.
Yeah,
so it kind of works.
Let us talk truth. Let's talk truth for a second, sir. Okay, neither Adam nor I could ever be president. We know this.
Right.
You know this. Your listeners know this. Does that mean we cannot talk? Yes, we can. And in fact, if you want to run numbers, I've got 1 million followers, and it's growing dramatically, and they are so loyal. Adam has a great number too. We're not going to win, but I promise you, we will choose the next president.
Love it. I love it, man. I did want to ask you, because I know you don't have a whole lot of time, I did want to ask you a little bit about your new exchange, the McAfee Magic, which is the second product ever to ever bear your actual name on the product prior to or in the antivirus.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about it?
Let me tell you about McAfee Magic. My belief, sir, is that the problem with universal acceptance of crypto is it is very complicated for a new user. Mm-hmm. When you've got wallet addresses and characters exceeding 100 characters, which have to be cut and pasted. We have a concept which is alien to most minds. We have dozens of exchanges, each of them carrying different coins. And those who invest in cryptocurrencies have multiple coins. So you've got to log onto Binance, log onto KuCoin, and all this other crap. No. We have an interface that logs onto everything for you with the same interface. But here's what I really did, which I think is the most powerful thing. I have a practice platform within McAfee Magic. Put $100 in. You then trade under real market conditions. Bitcoin, Monero, whatever you want. Lose money, you don't lose a penny. Gain money, you don't gain it either. It's just, but it's real market conditions. So your risk is zero. At the end, you still got $100, okay? Nothing has been lost.
Right.
You do that for a week, a month, 2 months, I don't care. At some point you go, aha, I got it.
Okay. Ready to ride that bike now. Take the training wheels off.
That's right. Let's take the training wheels off and go ahead. Now tell me that is not going to increase the number of users and acceptors of cryptocurrency. That's my goal, because to be a backer of cryptocurrency and to say it will change the world means nothing if nobody's fucking using it.
True. I agree. I'm definitely looking forward to checking out more about the exchange, McAfee Magic, and I'm looking forward to checking out that shadow portal you're going to be offering, where you can shadow traders.
Let me announce something on your show I have not yet announced.
Okay.
The platform is not an exchange. It interfaces. It is a universal interface to every exchange. So you don't have to learn Binance, KuCoin, and everybody else. No, one interface. But we are coming out with our own exchange with a radically different concept, and that's coming out in a month. It's going to be the McAfee Exchange, in conjunction with one of the largest stock market exchanges in America. So that the SEC cannot go, you're doing something bad, McAfee, we're going to add you to our tally of offenses, so that when you come back to America, you're going to be in prison for 6,000 years. No, they can't touch me. So that's coming out in a month, and I promise you people, you will love it. And there's not going to be any more of this crap like give us $1 million and we'll list you on our exchange. No, we are going to be open. We're going to be transparent. We're going to be fair. And that's something that does not exist in any change. Try to get your ass on Binance. Please, God, see how much
I've heard stories.
No, I mean, 5 Lambos and $1 million, maybe. But give me the 5 Lambos first, and then we'll say no.
Right.
No, I'm serious. This is how it fucking works.
Well, you heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. In about a month, we're going to see John McAfee.
You heard it first here. I have not announced it anywhere. Why did I announce it here? I do enjoy you, and I enjoy your questions.
I appreciate you, man. I love you, and I love all you do. Is there anything that you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
Yes, absolutely. Please stop buying the nonsense of the American media. The example today of the Wall Street Journal saying that people are eating rats in Cuba. I'm here in Cuba at this moment. I showed that headline to dozens of Cubans who laughed and rolled in the floor. Please God, our media lies. They deceive and they promote propaganda from the bowels of our government. Let me tell you something, please God, please go to the Freedom site.org that monitors all of the freedoms of the various nation states. We are number 52 right next to Belize, that most oppressive of all regimes. You think you have freedom? You try to get your sorry ass down here to have dinner with me. The U.S. says, no, you may not travel there because we get to control where you travel. They control what you put into your body. Who owns your body? The government?
We're supposed to own our own body, technically.
Yes. And your mind, you may not learn this, you may not read that. Please, God, people, you are not free. You are not free. You take the worst oppressive regime and come there, you're going to see much more freedom than you have in America. In America, every fucking street corner has cameras pointing in every direction. Every mall, every public place, every public building has cameras. I haven't seen a single one here. Now, those of you who say, yeah, well, you haven't seen them because they're hidden. I'm John fucking McAfee, a security expert. Try and hide a fucking camera from me. Please, God, try that.
Right.
No, they don't exist. They don't fucking exist. You're not free. You're not free. Not from the government, not from the corporations. What happens to you every day of your life? You wake up at 6, you have breakfast, you commute, depending on where you are, if you're in LA, up to an hour. You spend 9 hours in a fucking airless, windowless office with artificial light. You commute home just in time to kiss your wife goodnight. And you do this for 40 fucking years and you call yourself free. Wake the fuck up, America. And that's what I wanted to say, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it as always. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time ever checking out any of my content, please explore my channel. Give a thumbs up to this video, share, comment. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe, support what I'm doing.
And subscribe to Rice Crispo, for fuck's sake, people. If I'm on here for a goddamn reason. You have no clue how many people want me to be on the air. I turn 9 out of 10 down. I would never turn this man down. Listen to me, subscribe. I'll talk to you later, my friend.
Thanks, John. Much love. Be the change. Practice change, everybody.
All right.
That was it. John motherfucking McAfee. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Again, I encourage you as always, be the change by practicing change. And I love you all.
Hello there.
Hello there. How are you doing today, dude?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Cool, cool. Yeah, we'll start here in just a second. I don't, however much time you want to give me, be great. Um,
Um, I've hang on. What are you doing?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Dennis.
I've been under the weather today. I've got a bladder infection, so a half hour. Can we do that?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking 20, 30 minutes max. I know you're a busy dude. Yep,
That's
so
perfect.
cool.
That's perfect.
Okay, so I'll do a, if you're ready, I'll do a 3 count and we can start. But is there anything that you want to specifically cover? Because I was going to talk about pretty much everything that you've been having going on since I talked to you last time, which was Cuba. And then
Okay.
talk about your tweets.
Anything you'd like to ask, I'll be happy to answer.
Cool. All right, dude. I'll do a 3 count. We'll start. 3, 2, 1. All right, John, man, I appreciate you coming back on the Rice Crypto Show. How are you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again. I always enjoy your program.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And that last interview went over really good. And what I wanted to do with this one was to kind of play catch up. Because the last time I talked to you, you were in Cuba, and it seemed like all was going well. Can you elaborate on what happened in Cuba and why you ended up having to leave?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 days before we left, well, first of all, our taxi driver, cab driver, he worked for us full time when we were there. We virtually slept on the property. Everybody knows in Cuba that the taxi drivers are government agents. I knew this. A very, very nice guy. Over a month and a half, we got to know each other very well. So he divulged to me about 3 days before that the American government had approached Cuba about sending me back to America. The following day, Janice and I were riding bikes, came back and found 2 Army officers with a sheet of paper saying, "Be here at 3 o'clock today." It was an address. So we showed up. They were extremely polite. It was a reasonable facility with sofas and armchairs. They took me into a room. A general, an Army general, came in, which is weird, with a translator. He spoke no English. The translator was fluent, and said, "Mr. McAfee, we know you're a friend of Cuba, and that you love the Cuban people, but you must leave within 72 hours." That was it. And very nice. And I'm so very sorry. Said, "I'm so very sorry." So I don't know whether the Cuban government said, "Get out," so that next time the Americans come, we can say, "You're not here," or what.
I would say they're probably looking out for you, though.
You'd say what, sir?
I think that they were looking out for you. I mean, you weren't causing any problems being in Cuba itself, but
No, as a matter of fact, I was probably the best thing that happened to Cuba for that month, because I was running around taking photos and videos while the Wall Street Journal was saying everybody's starving and eating rats. There are no starving people in Cuba. We went all over their country.
right.
If anything, they look overfed. So I think it was, because I was bringing the truth out, that they really saw I was trying to be helpful. In any case, we headed for the Dominican Republic.
Right.
When we came into dock, we were surrounded by soldiers with fully automatic weapons. Boarded the boat before we were even allowed to talk to customs or immigration. So we had not even officially entered the country. Our weapons were laid out on the table, as always. Whenever we go into a different country in the boat, lay the weapons out, unloaded. Customs comes on. They do one of 2 things. In the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, Jamaica, they write out a slip of paper telling you, "Do not take them off the boat," which we never did. Or, like Cuba, they say, "Well, we will take them until you leave," and which they did. They took them when we came in. They gave them back to us when we left.
Okay.
So the people boarding the boat said, "You brought guns illegally into the Dominican Republic. You can't have guns here." And I kept saying, "We haven't even entered your country yet. I haven't talked to immigrations or customs." So it was clearly a setup. We were, detained in certainly not the best of circumstances. I can certainly tell you that, for 4 days. And then they said, you have to go back to America. Back to America? I didn't come from America. I came from Cuba. I haven't been to America in almost a year. I said, doesn't matter, you have to go back to Cuba. But on the second day of our detention, I hired 2 lawyers. They were with me at the immigration when they were going to deport us to America. I had a British passport in my pocket. I pulled it out because I have dual citizenship.
Right.
Slapped it on the table and says, I'm British, I want to go home. And so that didn't even faze them. It says, no, I'm sorry, you have to go to America. All right, so I whispered to my lawyers, I said, file a brief with the courts to demand that the courts hear the case to say where I'm to go. Well, that was the last thing in the world the government wants, because the Dominican Republic does have a legitimate court system, a judicial system. Had it gone to the courts, it would have come out that they illegally boarded the boat before customs came, and this whole thing was the setup.
Right.
The lawyer said that's going to take a couple of hours. And I said, fine, I'll handle it. I then left the office, fell over on my face, and faked a stroke. Janice was with me. She thought it was, even though I'd whispered in there, says, "Don't worry, I'm just doing my thing here." Before I fell over in convulsions, and then pretended not to recognize anybody. They had no choice but to send me to the hospital. Right.
Right.
Took half an hour to get to the hospital. Another 10 minutes to be seen by a doctor. Anyway, I kept stalling and stalling. And 2 hours later, the lawyers came into the hospital and said, "It's done. Act well now." So they did tell me they'd never seen a client quite like me. So in any case, they deported Janice and I to England, to London. It was a weekend. Now, if the U.S. government is seriously after me to the extent that they will pressure a third world country to break their laws in order to send me to the States, then England, which is America's best friend, all they need is a slip of paper with a request, right?
Right.
But it was a week. Try to get paperwork through any government agency on a weekend. We arrived on a Saturday, we stayed 15 hours and left. And I cannot tell you where we are now.
No, I won't even ask. I just appreciate you kind of giving us like a little bit of a background of what exactly happened from Cuba to the point of where you're at now. And I completely respect the fact that at this point, based off of our wonderful United States government, that you cannot reveal where you're at. So I respect it, dude, completely. What happened is, like, who do you think narked on you by the Dominican Republic? Did you have an issue with somebody in Cuba? Or I heard something about the guy on your boat.
Listen, the U.S. has satellites, and the CIA probably has more than anybody. They can track a fly leaving one tree and entering another. I mean, I don't know exactly what it was, but if the CIA wants to know where I am, they can find me.
Right. I feel you. So, okay.
Except I think they'll have great difficulty now in my current circumstances. We have gone extreme dark in terms of electronic emissions. We're not using any telephones, haven't used a telephone for 2 weeks, not going to use the telephone for another year. We are in a Faraday cage. It's covered by the screen here, but we're, surrounded by metal foil, ceiling, walls, and floor. We have a signal jammer, an 8-channel signal jammer. The only thing that'll ever get out here is the hard line going to the internet. And we're using multiple private and public VPNs. So when it says I'm in Lithuania, sometimes it says I'm in Hong Kong, sometimes it'll say San Francisco. You cannot gauge anything from that. It's simply what we have to do now to avoid being found, because I see very clearly how intent the U.S. is on silencing me about cryptocurrency, corruption within the government, the overreaching of the Justice Department and the SEC.
which is why I wanted to bring you on again, to give you that platform, because you never know what's going to happen at any moment. So, and if you go on Twitter, you can see when you first got to your location, the rawness of where you're at before you started decorating. So, and speaking of your Twitter stuff, you've been tweeting out recently about a couple issues I wanted to bring up. One was censorship and privacy. I try to be a big advocate about trying to explain to people about shadow banning and censorship and what the media is doing to smaller content creators like myself, and in addition to, bigger content creators and bigger independent media people. So, do you want to kind of elaborate on what your feelings are and what you've been talking about?
Yeah, let's start with privacy, because that's basic to everything else. I believe that you can't have freedom without privacy. I think the Nazis proved that, in the early 40s. But people don't think what privacy really is. You and I and every human on this planet exercise a series of privacy parameters with every relationship that we have. It's just it's subconscious. For example, if you're at Walmart or some shopping center and you buy a pair of shoes, at the checkout clerk, you don't say, "Listen, I had my first illicit sex." No, you go, "Hey, the price of tomatoes went up," or "The weather is certainly hot today," and hello and goodbye, right? We consciously limit our disclosures to that relationship. To our boss, we may, limit it to only things that are related to work, or a small deception, like you call into work and you say, "I'm sick today," when really you're out playing golf. So we have those privacy parameters. To a casual acquaintance, you might divulge more. You might divulge, I worked at Xerox just when you did, and I live just down the street. To a close friend, you might divulge everything, or at least most things. "Oh my God, I had an affair. What am I going to do?" To your spouse, you may divulge everything or not. If you are having an affair and don't want her or him to know, then likely you will not divulge that. Every fucking relationship in every human's life exercises a subconscious set of privacy parameters. We could not exist as a society without this. Can you imagine what would happen if everyone knew everything about everybody else?
That would be
There
terrible.
would be riots. It would be riots in the streets, and first and foremost, an entire, rash of spousal shootings. Seriously. So we have to have privacy as human beings, because we are not perfect beings. Yeah, we love and we have grace, generosity, and compassion. We have lust and desire and fear, and a whole host of other things, jealousy. This is why privacy is absolutely necessary. So, and without privacy, how can you have freedom? You will be impaired at every step in your life by the government, the police, somebody. So that's privacy. What was the other one?
Censorship.
Yeah.
I know. I appreciate you taking the time too, with you feeling rough. I want to let everybody know that you're not feeling completely great. You're saying you're having some issues. So
it's okay.
But yeah,
it's okay. Censorship. Okay. Now, the fundamental basis of the United States Constitution, crafted by some of the brightest minds of all time. Benjamin Franklin, God knows what his IQ was, but great minds with great experience in government set forth principles which had to exist in order for a sane society to exist under a government. Among those were freedoms. Number one, freedom of speech, freedom of privacy. Freedom of speech is basic to a healthy human being. If you are clamped down on just because you express what you see in life, this is how I see it, people. Can I express that? Please God, I feel so alone if I cannot express myself. And I don't care what you're saying. I don't care if it's hate speech. I don't care whatever.
you've got the right to say it. I've got the right to walk away or just not tune into 8chan. I mean, please God, people, we can't just selectively say this censorship is good, but that censorship is bad.
Right.
No, any censorship is bad. End of story.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think it's important to bring these issues up. And something else that you've been tweeting about in regards to the recent escalation of mass shootings that we've been having here in the United States, with the gun control issues, with the division that it's causing, and the tweets that you've been even mentioning about civil war and giving people prepare themselves for if that possibility was to come. You want to kind of elaborate a little bit more on that?
That tweet about civil war was all tongue in cheek.
Okay.
I was trying to show the ridiculousness of the entire problem. I mean, saying, listen, I started out by advising the liberals. Now, you guys have a serious problem. Number one, you're seriously outgunned. You need to buy as many guns as possible. To me, the irony of that seemed appropriate. Here's the issue. Gun owners are never going to give up their guns. And gun and non-gun advocates are not likely to give up their ideas. However, until the mass of America gun owners go out and start using guns, because believe me, if gun owners were a problem, you'd fucking know about it.
Right.
I'm sorry. So there has to be dialogue. There has to be. Not angry dialogue, you idiot. Stab him in the heart, which actually was yelled at the house of our leader of the Senate, for God's sake. That's not dialogue.
No.
That's an expression of rage. Well, let's stop expressing our fucking rage and start talking.
I agree. I mean, I think communication is key, and having that open dialogue where you're trying to be receptive and open-minded to the other person's point of views, whether you agree or not, you can
What
still
fucking compromises we can make it any.
Right. You're freezing up. Is your internet okay? I think we may have lost you. John?
We lost you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I kind of figured you would have some issues. We talked about going live. I talked about it with Janice, so it totally makes sense that we didn't. So, but yeah, so I appreciate you taking time to talk about that. I wanted to ask about your feelings on, just a quick question on your feelings on if you've even caught up with the Federal Reserve announcing that they're going to be doing this payment settlement solution called FedNow. You have any thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, no problem. I was curious about what your feelings were. I don't know if you're keeping up with what's going on, like the U.S. government completely, but the Federal Reserve just recently announced that they're going to be doing this payment settlement system called FedNow. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know any details about it.
Okay.
I know no more than you. Headlines in the news, and then the garbage that's regurgitated by the press. I really can't comment on it at this point.
That's cool. No, I totally understand. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap things up, because I know your time is limited and you're not feeling great. Are there any updates on McAfee Magic, and or is there any announcements yet going on with the McAfee Exchange?
The McAfee Exchange we've abandoned. I'm just in our situation trying to build something of that nature just is not practical.
Makes sense.
The McAfee Magic. We're coming out next week with the shadow trading. That turned out to be more problematic, as most development issues are, than we anticipated. But the shadow trading is going to be a big thing, and everybody's demanding it. And it's a very unique way of implementing it, where you don't have to give somebody your money and then depend on them not to go bankrupt or disappear. The money stays in your own account.
Right.
So it's a very unique system. So that's coming out. Our credit card, the McAfee credit card, we have changed the concept now to, it's not changed it in a negative way, but I think greatly facilitating it. Instead of issuing our own card, which we did for quite a few cards,
we are issuing a sticker, the code of your wallet. And it's not the wallet on your phone, it's the unique wallet that we give you. You paste it on the back of your credit card, okay? You put the credit card up against your smartphone, which has the wallet. You click and then say, I want to transfer a Bitcoin or a half a Bitcoin or $200 onto the card. That card, if it's a debit card and if it's either MasterCard or Visa, is now valid in any country in the world that accepts MasterCard or Visa. So it greatly expands our base. You don't have to get another credit card. The only thing you do have to give up, you have to give us your account and bank codes that we can deposit money into. Do you understand? Because that's your debit card account. So if you transfer $200, we deposit $200 in that account immediately from your Bitcoin.
I mean, that makes sense that you would have to have that information if you're wanting to have a deposit in your account if you're selling the Bitcoin for that purpose. So is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we wrap things up?
Yes, I just noticed for the first time that you have substantial ink on your arm. I have substantial ink. Yeah, very nice. Where did you get that done?
Well, I live here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. There's a place called Tattoo Revival in downtown Winston-Salem. Really cool cat named John Slater. Yeah, I'm really proud because, I mean, I think the color work is really nice and really done very well. I mean,
It's beautiful.
Got more tattoos, but I like your tattoos as well. Yeah, I don't have a lot to show off my ink.
Mine, I have to take my shirt off. I don't think it's appropriate, but I've got my entire back virtually is tattooed, and my shoulders and a couple on my chest. So
there's pictures all over the internet.
Yeah, this is interesting. This says, don't fuck with my wife. That's intended for me, okay? Every time I get up in the morning and look in the mirror, I remind myself, Jesus God, don't ever fuck with Janice again. Because that's the scorpion, right? On top here.
Well, it makes sense.
So anyway.
And Janice, I'm sure can be vicious. She's a great woman, but I'm sure she can be vicious.
She is a great woman.
I would not hurt a fly.
Yeah, no. No, she kind of likes flies. That's why.
But she's with you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thanks, you very much.
I appreciate your time, John. Have a good one, brother.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Everything going all right? I can't hear you.
Yes, you can. I'm just not talking to you. I'm fucking with you, dude.
I didn't know what the hell you were doing. How the fuck you been, dude?
I've been good. How about you, my friend? Listen, I think we've spoken enough now that I can fuck with you as a friend would a friend. Okay?
Totally, man. All right, good. Yeah, I mean, I definitely consider you.
Please don't take offense. Don't take offense.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
How much time do I got with you?
Half an hour.
Okay, cool. All right. So, well, I mean, you obviously need no introduction, man. I kind of like the way that you did that. I think this is perfect. I want to leave it kind of unedited and upload this afternoon. So everybody can check this out. Now, I really wanted to cover things about McAfee 2020. I wanted to talk about your decks, but we've got so much going on in the world. I mean, we got the virus that shall not be named because YouTube doesn't like us to say the word. But you feel free to say it because it's not going to matter. It's a coronavirus. And the economic collapse that we got going on. Where are you
shitting me? Wait a minute. Whoa. Which word does YouTube not want us to say?
Either coronavirus or COVID-19 or all the above.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I don't censorship.
Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
No. Team YouTube on Twitter just posted 2 days ago saying that because of the virus and because they're not going to be running as many employees, their automated system's going to be fully intact and they're going to be deleting videos and even videos that are not even going against community guidelines. So what the hell do you think about that, John?
Well, Listen, we just left Spain. We were there for a week. Well, 2 days after we got there, martial law came into effect. We've been locked in a fucking room for 5 days. Being able to go out only for food if it's an emergency, or to the hospital if you're dying. And otherwise, you're not allowed to walk on the beach. You're not allowed to get out on your fucking balcony and get sun. No, you're locked in your fucking. So we left that. Does it get any crazier? Does it get any stranger? Does it get any worse? And people are going, you've got to get behind the bandwagon. It's a terrible thing. It's killed less than 10,000 people. You understand? Diarrhea kills over 1 million children a year. For fuck's sake, people. The flu kills 600,000. And in 5 months, coronavirus has killed 8,000 people. What a horror. Please, do you not see what's happening? You're being fed.
Well, okay, so John, you're one of the leading security experts in the world. I mean, you say this. I mean, you're definitely one of the people. So what's going on, man? And you're running for president. So I mean, what's going on? Like, what is really happening? Why are they shutting down borders? Why are they shutting down restaurants? Why are they, what's going on that we're not being told, that we're not aware of? I've been watching your Twitter, man, so I know you got a lot to say.
I don't know if anyone's ready for the truth. That's my problem, because the instant the few possibilities for what the truth might be, the instant these things are mentioned, I am branded as a madman, a lunatic, a conspiracy theorist. But you want to know what's happening?
Yeah.
It's not a virus problem. I promise you this. It has killed fewer than 8,000 people. It is not a problem. In 5 months, same period of time, 600,000 people died of the flu. Same period of time, 1 million children died from diarrhea. And these aren't even major causes of death, people. And yet, oh yes, almost 10,000 people have died in 5 months. This is a horror of unbelievable proportions. Yet you go on Johns Hopkins, the medical university, and you check their data, the virus transmission is fucking flat, people, flat.
Yeah.
This is the slowest growing, moving, transmitting virus on fucking record.
I know, but people just don't.
Do you not see? There are only, these are the facts, are they not? Oh, we need to add a few more facts before we start analyzing. Fact number 1, China shut down its equivalent of Silicon Valley. Wuhan, the research and development capital of China, shut down the city. Why? We're going to contain this airborne virus. And yes, we all know that if you sneeze, the wind can blow it many miles, maybe even 100. But did you see a fucking dome get lowered over Wuhan? I didn't.
Right.
Did you see some miracle of engineering that says, no, air cannot pass between this part of the city and the rest of the world? Please, God, wake up. It's an airborne virus. Something else is going on. Look at the death statistics. Higher than 5%, 4%. That's massive considering flu is 0.17. Well, fuck me. That is devastating. But where do those numbers come from? Inside Wuhan, where no reporter is allowed and no one is able to verify numbers.
Right.
And inside Italy, these two account for 90% of the world's infections. I find that to be strange, don't you, people? I'm not saying that it has anything to do with the fact
that the Vatican is located there, and that the Council of Bishops is soon going to be introducing reforms which will change the fundamental nature of the Catholic Church. No, I would never say there is a connection between the two.
Never.
However, in an entire world where over 150 countries have already been infected, that only 2, Italy and China, account for all the infections. Now, that's scenario number 1, that numbers don't match. Scenario number 2, China, who has been a standout in the world and the most racist country in the world. You know what they call us non-Chinese? Gaijin.
Yeah, I heard that term.
Gaijin, well, it means basically
Foreigner? I thought it meant foreigner.
I wish, wouldn't that be nice? Would that not be nice? No. It's closer to the word aboriginal. Do you understand? We are the Aborigines.
Like we're primates or something.
Well, we're exactly what the English thought the Native Americans were, and what the Australian whites thought the Aboriginals were. No, we're nothing. Do you understand? Okay, so now, let's look at scenario 2. China, which is not stupid, either in leadership, nor in technology, nor in the general fucking populace. Odd how 2 billion people can be so unstupid, but the Chinese are. Might have said, here's what we're going to do, people. We're going to sacrifice Wuhan. Why? Because we need a story. And that story is, we have a virus of such virulent proportions that 5% of the population is just dying. Well, that's a shitload percentage for everybody, let's face it. But outside of Wuhan, where international reporters can look at the statistics, what's the rate? 0.16%.
Right.
What's the death rate from the flu? 0.17%. So it's slightly less deadly than the fucking flu. Where does the Vatican come into this? Well, I promise you, people, within 6 months, you are going to see a set of reforms initiated within the Catholic Church that will make it unrecognizable as the Catholic Church. Now,
That's interesting.
all you need is intervention from God, do you not? What if in the height of all of this in Italy, which has the second, Italy, please God, people, has the second largest infection rate on the fucking planet, has realized, because here's what the church does. I don't know if you've ever seen Werner Herzog's Gitta, The Wrath of God. In German, Der Zorn Gottes, starring Klaus Kinski. And in there is a scene where, and this is all true, where Pizarro, wandering through the jungles of South America, is approached by the priest and says, the Catholic Church always supports those who are in power. And Pizarro was not at that time. But the Catholic Church still supports those who are in power. And you think the Vatican does not fucking know China is going to rule the world? Well, let's get in bed with those motherfuckers. Let's help them with their thing, and they'll help us with ours. Because in order to rule the world as Catholics, to vie for power next to the Chinese, we need more power. And we need intervention from God, and we need more belief that God will fucking save us. Okay, that's scenario number 2.
Okay.
You want more? There are 7 scenarios that fit the facts. Those are 2. Use your own common sense, people.
So, I mean, do you think that there's anything, I mean, I didn't the Vatican stuff is something that I'm not even really familiar with, so I definitely want to look into that more. But
well, hang on. The world's richest organization by a factor of 10. We cannot possibly ignore them in any of our judgments and evaluations, can we?
no, you really can't. I just didn't really think about it. It was so much going on. It's been information overload. It's been hard for me to process everything and be able to think clearly 100% about all this stuff and try to connect some of these dots, because I feel like there's something going on in the United States. I feel like
okay. Well, we need to actually address number 3 out of the 7 probabilities or possibilities that meet all the facts. Number 3, by far the most horrific, that the Western world governments in league with China, as opposed to the rest of the world, meaning Africa, Australia, all of Asia, south of China, Canada, rich places. No, that outside of those areas, the USA, Europe, and China, for example, possibly Russia, although I do not think so, said, listen, I know we've had our problems, but wouldn't we all benefit if all of our citizens were just slaves? Wouldn't it be better than having free goddamn citizens we're going to deal with? We, as the emperors, would have 10 times the power. Now, let's set aside our differences just for a moment, gentlemen, and see what would happen if, for example, we, the Chinese, were willing to sacrifice one of our cities, Wuhan, at least economically, for half a year, in order to frighten the world and frighten the citizens to the point that they will accept anything that you tell them if you simultaneously promise them they will be safe. And we will be safe, people, because this virus is not a fucking threat. This is the beauty of it. We release something that the Chinese, the only ones who can tell us, oh, it's horrific, it's horrible, Wuhan, devastation, horror. And us, we have no choice to believe them because we're getting infections over here. How many people are dying? Less than 10,000 in 5 fucking months. How many died from flu in the same time? 600,000. How many children died from diarrhea in the same fucking time? And Google this, people. 1 million. What the fuck? Why aren't we doing something for those 1 million children instead of worrying about the 8,000 in 5 months deaths from a non-fucking threat? Oh, so that's number 3 out of 7. Use your heads for the other 4. I'm not going to give you no goddamn clues, people, all right?
Well, I mean, where are you leaning at? Like, what do you think? I mean, like where's your judgment at? Like, where's your mind?
I'm leaning between 2 and 3. That China is trying to destroy the rest of the world economically.
Yeah.
Rather than having to go out with this, why go out and waste bullets whacking people? Let them starve to death. Costs us nothing. Do you understand? This is the logic, people. Anything starving to death is not going to happen. I have spent the past week under martial law in Spain, and food, it's like dwindling to nothing in 5 fucking days. 5 fucking days. Can you imagine 5 goddamn months?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, the timing of this thing is crazy. I mean, like studying economics, I mean, we've seen since 2008 this system was going to collapse. And it's just, again, the timing of this virus coming out. And then now you're seeing like historic lows, stuff that we've never seen before in the stock markets, with the Federal Reserve, more quantitative easing. It's just
people. Here's what you need to worry about. I have spent the past week in the most severe martial law on this planet today, where you can't get within 3 feet of another person ever. You cannot have more than one person in the car, and that person must be the driver. Everything is closed, every shop, every business. You may not invite friends over, neither may you go to your friend's house. You must stay in your legal fucking residence 24 hours a day. You may not go out on your balcony to get sunlight. Today, before I left, I went with my driver to the supermarket and was almost arrested by 2 officials because we were closer than 3 feet together. Why? I'm 74. I'm half fucking deaf. If you're not shouting in my ear, I can't fucking hear you.
Right.
So we were both almost arrested. We violated the 3-foot law, the 1 meter law. You may not be closer to another human being ever than 1 meter. Now, they can't enforce this in your fucking houses, obviously, but you can't go to visit a friend. You got a lover, you're gonna have to fuck that lover later because you ain't gonna get in touch with them, not until this martial law is lifted. That's what we were under. Thank the fucking Christ we're out of there.
This is crazy, man. I mean, I like it. I mean, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I mean, because I know a lot of people are canceling interviews and you've been going through such like crazy stuff just normally. I mean, you being on the run, but adding this to the mix. You know,
Yeah,
how are you
it's insane. Now listen, and here's the other issue that, good God Almighty, I mean, in Spain while we were there were no riots. Few people, even at the grocery store. People were terrified. Nobody out. Listen, you could not go out and walk on the beach, and even at 3 o'clock in the morning, you get arrested. You're not allowed out of your house. I'm sorry. What are you doing out? I don't give a shit. Against the law. Come with us. That in this, nobody was upset. Nobody was going, what the fuck? No, nothing. They went indoors quietly, locked them, and did what they were told. Well, except for me, I ain't doing that shit. I'm sorry. I'm 74. I might die anyway. Probably much more chance I will die tomorrow of a stroke, heart attack, or too much sex. So who gives a shit? No, and I did. I went out, I photographed and things like that. It upset people. Well, fuck me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What does my being out and risking my life have to do with you? If you stay locked inside your fucking apartment, what I do got nothing to do with you. So shut the fuck up. That was my attitude. I probably could not have kept that up long without being whacked or, disappeared by the Spanish authorities. Thank God we got out. But in any case, what was the question?
I don't even remember, honestly. But I did want to ask, like, real quick, like, how you and Janice are actually going through all this.
What? Oh, fuck me. I thrive on this. I'm 74. I mean, I've seen some shit you wouldn't believe. No, this is a piece of cake.
Okay.
I was just.
Are you guys in a safer place now?
Oh, fuck yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, fuck yes.
I mean, I'm more concerned with those kind of things.
Here was the only thing. It was, I get bored easy. That's the only problem we had. I mean, God damn it, you want me to stay inside my goddamn house for 5 days? No, and you're telling me it's going to be a month? Well, fuck you in the ass. That ain't happening. What are my legal goddamn options? Groceries? I went to grocery shop every fucking morning. Why? I'm an old man. I don't have a refrigerator. I'm 74. I have to have fresh food. I have to survive. The authorities go, okay, yes, okay. So I go out. If I'm not going to the grocery store, where am I going? To a doctor. Why? I am 74. I got some serious fucking problems. Wait till you get to 74. Ah, si, senor.
You got that seniority, literally.
So understandable. Why? I'm a foreigner. I'm trying to speak a goddamn language, right? And I'm communicating enough, and so you got to give me some grace. Why? Because that part of the world where we were is all tourist money. And the tourists don't bother to speak your language or pick up after themselves or even act decent, right? It's about to get away from their own country to show their asses to everybody else and then go back prim and proper home. So no, that's what they're used to. So I'm actually trying to speak your language, trying to give you, listen, I'm a foreigner, I'm stuck in this, I'm 74, I need to drive. It's the other thing. You can't have more than one person per car. Well, I have a driver. I don't want to drive. So we were stopped yesterday. What's going on? And I, in my broken Spanish, lo siento, señor, lo siento. Tengo 74 años. No puedo caminar. Yo soy el jefe. So it's going, oh, I see. An old man can't drive. Because there are no taxis. Can't take a fucking, no public transit, no public anything.
Wow.
How am I supposed to go and get food, motherfucker? And so they're all going, they were so reasonable. Every single time we were stopped, reasonable. Oh, okay. Whereas we saw them scoop up people who were, we stopped at a stoplight and there was a man standing on the street corner. A police car came up, 2 cops got out, grabbed him, threw him in the back, and drove off. Why? What the fuck are you doing standing on a street corner? You're not supposed to be out of your house, right?
Right.
I'm sorry to laugh. I don't think they tortured him or whacked him. They probably kept him in jail a couple days and fined him. So no big fucking deal, I'm sure. Nevertheless, just to see this poor hapless bastard. I don't know what he was doing there.
It's crazy entertainment, man. Do you think any of this is going to affect what's going on with the presidential run, with your run for president, with anybody run for president?
Listen, people, I would be much more concerned about whether you're going to survive this. Okay. As a human being, as an entity, are you going to have the food, the water, the medicine, the heat, the clothing, and the shelter? If not, you are not surviving, because there's some serious fucking shit coming down this pipe. And you, if you are not prepared for it, this is Darwinism in effect.
Well, I mean, considering all this and what's going on,
I'm going to put my glasses back on. Let me tell you, listen, I wear sunglasses not for effect, because 2 years ago I had, oh, thank God, a cataract operation. Again, I'm 74. Your eyes go bad after a while, and cataracts develop. That's a milky shit where you can't see garbage. So I had a cataract operation. Great, I can see. But if the light is any brighter than this, I'm in pain. Okay. Oh, fuck me, it's painful. The back of my eyes going, close the eyes, close the eyes. Because crazy. For 20 years, I've been looking through a dark cloud, remember, the cataract. And so when that was removed, there was a sudden, and my body, I guess, is too old to adapt to that sudden shift. So please, it's not for effect. I'm not trying to hide myself. I took them off.
I've never once
for the first one of the first times ever in an interview, so that you could see my eyes as I told you something extraordinarily true. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, John. Well, I guess, one last thing, if you don't mind, that I'd like to, considering everything that's going on and everything, are there any last words of wisdom that you would like to leave people with?
God, let's not say last words. I mean, I am 74 after all.
But that's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, there's a lot going on, and you're 74, man. I'm worried about you. We need you.
All right. If I have to have last words, it's this. Children, do ever only what you love and nothing else whatsoever. If you wake up on Monday and you're not going, yay, it's Monday, I get to go to work, And instead of going, oh, fuck me, another week, then don't bother going in. Take out your phone and quit. And if on Friday, when you're coming back to your family, realizing you got to spend 2 entire days with them, including your wife, and you look at your wife or your husband, and that person who 7 years ago you were so in love with that you were dancing on wisps of rosy clouds, and you loved everyone and everything in this world. And today, 7 years later, you look and you don't even know who that spouse is, man or woman. And that love is just not there. And that was the reason that you did, in fact, get married. Then own up to the truth. Smile at everybody in the backyard barbecue. Say, I'm going upstairs for a minute, babe. I'll be right back. Don't bother packing a fucking bag. Get your money, your wallet, a coat, because the world may be cold, 2 pairs of shoes, a backpack's all you need. Quietly walk out the front door, get into your car, smile to yourself and nod. Finally, back out of the driveway and go and visit your real fucking life. That would be my advice to people. Thank you very much for having me on.
Hey, John, thank you as always. I appreciate you. Stay safe. Tell Janice to stay safe, man. I love you guys.
I will. Thank you.
Later
Bye-bye.
on.
Baby? Hey, hang on a sec. There we are. Hey, is Adam there?
Not yet. Should be popping in anytime.
Oh, okay.
Now, as soon as he pops in, I don't have a paid Zoom account, so I think I got like a 40-minute time limit, and I know that you're.
No, I have a 25-minute time limit. I'm really sorry. I've got 4 interviews today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you had to cancel a lot of stuff last week.
Yes, it did.
How you doing, by the way?
Fuck me, man. I went to the dentist to get a normal tooth extraction. The root was curved like this, and they had to cut it out from the bone. I've got 5 stitches back here, and I'm just now getting able to speak again. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
dental stuff is.
Janice had mentioned that you were getting minor dental work. And
Right, you know,
turned into major.
an extraction is minor dental work, really, if you think about it. I mean, you go in, they numb it, they pull the tooth. But this took an hour, and I got 5 stitches. So,
I'm gonna text Adam real quick.
okay.
Make sure, because I don't want to lose any time. There we are. How's quarantine life treating you?
Like shit, I'm bored.
It kind of sucks. You can only do so much.
The most sucky thing is it's unnecessary.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I mean, it seems like the data's coming out to say that this isn't really.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
No, of course it's not as bad. I listen, from day one. I spent the past month analyzing numbers. Now you can't trust numbers, so I cross-reference everything. When I want to get coronavirus deaths, I look at WHO, Johns Hopkins, and the country, like in Japan, the Japan National Statistics Bureau. Okay, if they jive, then okay, that's pretty much a decent number. It's nothing. The flu has, 200,000 people in 5 months. The flu kills 630,000 people every year. More people die from falling off of ladders than have been killed by the coronavirus. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I know. It just, there's so much more behind it, man. I mean, this is a completely different conversation.
What's behind it is government's grab for power.
Yeah, well, you got
all the governments in collusion? I go, of course not.
The digital ID is what scares me the most.
You show me a single government. They're not always trying to increase their power over the people. So, of course, they all took advantage of this media hysteria. Whoa, that's a good opportunity. let's
hey, Adam.
Hey,
John's time is kind of limited.
Yeah, I've got 20 minutes left, Adam. I'm sorry.
Hey, if you want to do this in like 2 parts, and I'll just listen in mostly for the first 20 minutes, we can do it that way.
No, I need to talk to you, my friend, if you don't mind.
Oh,
Yeah, we can just gel this out, man. We'll just go ahead and start going right now. Do a quick 3 count, and we'll jump into it.
Listen, Rice Crispo is a flexible dude, so why don't you record? He's recording now. I need to chat with Adam for about 5 minutes. Keep recording. If you want to jump in, please do so, sir. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's do it.
Adam, we need to be on every debate together, you and I. All right?
Yes.
When is the next fucking debate scheduled?
I'd have to check my calendar. I don't know what's scheduled right now.
Is it within a few days or weeks?
Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone while we're talking here. But if
I can't help you myself. Although Janice is here. Miss Janice, I'm going to need your help. Okay.
Of course,
She's
you
my
need
scheduler.
Janice.
Well, listen. Hang on. Today I've got 4 interviews. Some days I do 5. I can't keep track of that shit.
Okay, next Wednesday, the 6th, is Lions of Liberty POTUS debate, and then on Saturday the 9th is the Missouri virtual LP debate.
Can you get me into the Lions debate, sir? If any way.
I think so.
That.
Yeah, and I think we should have any time that I'm in a debate that you're left out of, to have either.
And the same thing. Although let me tell you, my profile within the Libertarian Party is so not low. It's so disliked that the party heads do not want me in a debate. Why? I'm disruptive, as you well know, and so are you, my friend.
I wouldn't. I mean, John, I would just caution you to not be ascribing the motivations of conspiracy to the entire organization when it might be the fuckery of 1 or 2 individuals that are.
No. Listen, I don't think I've ever said conspiracy. Have I? All I've said was here are the things that happened. I was removed from the Libertarian website.
That is suspicious.
Pardon?
That part is really suspicious, and I.
Well, plus I've had 4 of my staff trying to get me back on, and it hasn't happened. But that doesn't really matter. I'm just saying it's an indication.
I think there are lots of little conspiracies in the Libertarian Party, though.
But that's okay. I've never said conspiracy. I'm just saying it appears to me that I'm not liked. All right, that's all. So in any case, sir, so no one ever informs me of anything upcoming. I've got to have people dig. No one ever replies to any of my staff's requests or emails. I'm serious. I am serious. We had 4 people try to get me put back on the Libertarian web. They said, oh, yes, we'll do it. It's been 2 weeks and it hasn't happened. I was replaced by Judge, what's his name? Okay.
Oh, geez, yeah. So, hey, about that, it's no, not about that. No, about the coordination. If you want Janice to have access to my Google Calendar and see everything that I'm doing, I have no problem with that.
I would appreciate that. Hey, Janice. Adam is going to give you access to his Google Calendar. Can you contact him and organize that so that I don't miss any? I've missed all the debates except one because every time we've requested information on them, they've never replied.
And by the way, that last debate that you were in with me, that was a big panel, and we got to work together pretty well in that. I came out dominating the polls. I just posted it on social. It works really well, over the top.
Perfect. I don't care whether I'm in the polls or not. What I care about is, can I speak in the debates, because I have something to say. All right. So
indeed. And so for Janice, when she's looking at the calendar, Janice, if you can hear me, if you just want to rely on Marcus more, our press secretary.
Janice, can you come here, baby? And she's coming right here.
You guys get the inside look at everything here.
This is how the sausage
I'm
is
keeping
made.
it. Hey, this is
good.
Hi, Janice. Great to see you.
How are you?
Yeah,
good to see you too.
Excellent. Yourself? Enjoying your hideout?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
It's like you guys You guys were on lockdown before it was cool.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, we were. I want to tell you now, it's a serious lockdown.
Trendsetters.
Yeah. So yeah, Janice, if you just send me an email reminder, and I will add you to my Google account, which is my everything calendar for scheduling. And if you ever
There's a
see
debate coming on Wednesday, baby.
Okay.
next
All right,
Wednesday,
I want to be in it next
Next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
No, not this
Yeah.
coming Wednesday. Next week.
Wednesday
Not
the
in-
6th, and Saturday the
6th,
9th.
okay.
are the next two that
Okay,
I
and
know of.
Saturday
Yeah.
the 9th.
Okay.
I need to be in both.
Yeah.
those. Okay.
Yeah, so two things about this in terms of how I want this working relationship to go between John and I is, Janice, I want you to be able to rely on my press secretary, Marcus Pulis, who coordinates all the scheduling and booking for
Okay.
debates and things like that.
Perfect.
And if you reach out, so the first thing would be you see this debate happening on Saturday and on Wednesday, next Wednesday and Saturday, you reach out to Marcus and say, Marcus, how did Adam get in this? How do we get John in this? And if he tells
Yes.
you and you do it and John doesn't get accepted, then we turn up the heat on social media on him.
Yeah, perfect.
And,
Okay.
and you guys can be working
Very
with my
Yeah.
social media guy, Scotty, who's been in some of those conversations, or just, Twitter messaging me directly like, hey, by the way, they officially rejected John in this debate. Share this, retweet
Okay.
this. Like,
No,
let's call
the
him out on
oddest thing is, honest to God, the day I was removed was the day that the judge replaced my name.
that. Yeah. So, by the way, John, one of your campaign strategy ideas that I thought had some merit is that while you are campaigning outside of the country, have people in the U.S. wearing paper face masks.
Yes.
With your face, right? And pretend to be like animate a speech, like pretend to be giving a
Yes.
speech,
Yes.
but it's your audio. or
Yes,
something
right.
Like that.
We
I'd
tried
rather-
doing that. That is technically difficult, Adam.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happens is we tried it in Times Square 4 times, where we had people in Times Square wearing the mask. It was difficult to coordinate all this shit. So technically, maybe in 2024, but.
Well, no. So I was. Well, what I was gonna do is wear the mask myself to get you in the debates. Like, it just
All right,
not the
Can
whole
you get in touch
time.
with Rob
but-
Loja? Okay, Rob Loja can send you one, all right?
But
All right,
just
all right,
a little
cool.
bit.
So-
Okay.
So yeah, I'll get you my mailing address really easy. It'd be awesome to have, and I wouldn't wear it the whole time. It'd be a little goofy.
Of
but
course
I could
not.
say, I
Of
could
course
like in
not.
my opener or closer or work
Of
it
course
into
not.
one answer and be like,
Say
by the way,
you could say my vice presidential candidate, John McAfee.
has
Here we go.
something to say.
Yes.
Perfect, all right?
I've been like, side note, if you have any other ideas to help stand out in the debates, I think this is great. I think this is a lot of fun. One of the things that I want to do, like when we're doing debates, is like, hey, well, I'm here in my studio, and my studio is at the Garden of Freedom. And by the way, aside from John McAfee, I'm the only other candidate in this race who's living it, who's living freedom. Like, look at this. Here are my.
Yeah, right. You might mention it, one of us, you might mention that one of us just got out of jail in the Dominican Republic and is in hiding. That's how free we really are, Adam. All right, I got it.
Yes, your
Okay.
interview.
I know. All right, I'm sorry. Mr. Rice Crypto, let's begin.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
so
dude,
sorry.
no, I appreciate, man. I just appreciate that inside glimpse, man. I mean, we've all become friends over the past couple of years.
Yep.
What's really interesting about this is, this. Okay, so this is the first official joint interview between John McAfee and Adam Kokesh, now united as Team in the Fed. And I want to let these guys talk about this. But what's really special about this for me, as an independent media person, as a journalist, is this is my 6th interview with both you guys. I don't know if you know that. So I get my 6th interview with both of you together. And I did suggest last year, if you don't remember, I did suggest to both of you guys should be teaming up and running for president.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, things were so chaotic last year. Adam was chasing pussy, and we were being chased by the CIA. So, we.
I caught one.
You caught one. And
I
you
was-
get married soon.
I was
Congratulations
chasing-
on that.
I was
When?
chasing
And
them all over
congratulations.
the place, and I caught one. Yeah, we're getting married Friday.
Holy
First, the
fuck.
1st of May, right?
Holy fuck,
Yeah.
Adam. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. I hope she's not black.
This is such an awesome time for me, man. I really appreciate
because let me tell you something. I have lived with, I'm 74, more women than I can count. And I want to promise you, black women own the goddamn house. Now, once they're out of the house, they acknowledge you own the world. But you get your ass home, it's goddamn her house. And so, and I mean that, all right? Just saying, Adam.
Well, John, I know your time's a little bit limited. You want to go ahead and just kind of take over and talk about what's going on with you teaming up with Adam, and then I know you're going to have to bounce out, and then me and Adam will talk a little bit longer after that.
Well, first of all, you know me. I'm very.
You're John McAfee.
I have an odd sense of humor, if nothing else. It occurred to me that the libertarian bylaws do not prevent a person from running both for president and for vice president. And in an ideal world, for example, Adam would be nominated both for president and vice president. That way, I mean, he could pardon himself if the vice president did something wrong. In any case, I chose to run for and quite honestly, I in humor and in jest, approached the Vermin Supreme campaign to ask if I could be Vermin's vice president. Now, I knew I'd be called, because he's very happy with his time traveling vice president candidate as it is. I mean, they've been visiting the future to see who won and shit like this, so I don't blame him for turning me down. But in all reality, I believe of all the libertarian candidates, Adam and I are the only ones that walk the fucking walk. I mean, I've paid over $50 million in taxes and haven't received $50 million in services. And 10 years ago, because we all say taxation is theft, I go, well, fuck me if it's theft, I ain't paying it. And I sent the IRS 10 years ago a letter in every year since saying, I'm not filing, I'm not paying, you know where I live. For 8 years, they left me alone until I started speaking on international stages about, you don't want to pay taxes? Use privacy coins and distributed exchanges. You will never have to pay another dime. Well, that's when, things got hot. The SEC, first of all, I was at the time the CEO of MGT, a New York traded public company with a market cap of 800 million, filed a subpoena against the company right after I was in China saying, you want to pay taxes? Here's how. I came home and got a subpoena, not me, the company. Now, the subpoena was about a past stockholder 6 years ago. That was all. Now, according to SEC rules, however, if you get a subpoena, you have to say, I've been subpoenaed. You may not say why. Okay, so we had to announce it. The following day, the New York Stock Exchange delisted us. That's what they do. You get a subpoena from the FCC, they delisted. We don't want to be involved. The stock went from 800 million valuation to 3 million in 24 hours.
Wow.
I had to resign. The company went bankrupt. In January of last year, the IRS convened a grand jury to charge me with tax fraud. Now, the only thing I've done is not file taxes. And tax fraud means that I have lied on a tax form. I haven't filed the goddamn forms. I could not possibly have lied. And in fact, not filing is not against the law. Now, they can come and take everything you own. And then you've got to go to court and get it back, but it's not a crime. Nevertheless, that's what happened. Janice and I, my staff and 4 dogs, left the country. January the 18th, took our yacht, then went to the Bahamas, and it's been a fucking nightmare since. But Adam, I know Adam, you've probably been in jail more than me in terms of times. I'm pretty sure I've got you in terms of amount of time in jail.
Yep.
No question.
It's an interesting comparison.
Yeah, and we should talk about it. I've only been jailed a dozen or 15 times. So Adam, I think it's sort of a weekly occurrence.
Yeah, it is.
But my jail terms have been sometimes substantial. So, but nothing more than weed or refusing to acknowledge the ownership of my body or mind by some other government. Seriously, that's all. So anyway, Adam walks the walk. I think I walk the walk. I certainly try.
Oh yeah.
And of all the libertarian candidates, I think only Adam and I actually live what we believe. Who else could I truly?
Or the only ones who really believe what we say.
It's the same thing, Adam. If you believe what you say, you're going to do what you say.
But you guys keep it real, and that's what people appreciate about both you guys, man.
Listen, no, we don't. I mean, I don't, and here's why. I mean, there's certain things I can't keep real, like where I am. I mean, you have no fucking idea how much disinformation I put out. Photographs of Janice and I in places where we haven't been for 6 months. Hey, we were just in Munich last week, right? You know, people go, "What's your time? What is your time zone?"
Oh yeah, you guys won't even tell me.
We add it or subtract. No, we'll tell you, but we add or subtract 3 or 4 hours. We never tell you the exact time zone. Why? Listen, this is information designed to keep Janice and I out of jail and alive. Now, that I think is a valid, I'm sorry, people go, there's no reason to lie. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to lie about where I live. I'm just going to do it. But in terms of what I believe, in terms of who I am, in terms of what Janice's and my relationship is, and our relationship to the world and world governments, fuck no. I tell the truth, and I fucking act the truth, and I know Adam does too. So you find a better team in the Libertarian Party.
I love it, dude. Team in the Fed, and it makes so much sense that you guys are together. I like it. Hashtag keep it real.
That's good.
I mean, John, I understand that you can't be completely transparent with your location and such, but other than that, you do keep it real. I mean, you're about one of the realest people I know.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I get trashed for it. I really do. Because first of all, sheep do not like reality. Reality is kind of scary. Okay. And governments hate reality if that reality is a threat. I promise you, every piece of reality that I spew out regarding governments is a threat. And now that listen, we've been in hiding for almost 9 months now. No, and they've tried electronically to locate us. Why? Because I keep track of all the hacking attempts to peel back the layers of our protection. They peeled it back as far as Amsterdam. We're not within 2,000 miles of Amsterdam, but they have not located us. Now, do you know the advantage that gives me? I can say what I've been saying on my Twitter account about the COVID virus. How Governor Cuomo was padding the fucking numbers. Think about it. In New York, they have 250 times the death rate of Tokyo. Everybody is jam-packed together, and Tokyo has never been on lockdown. So I published that. I got 53,000 likes on it, and over 200 attempts to peel back our location further than Amsterdam. Why? Because we can tell. In other words, every time there's an attack, we know. God damn it, it's a very trivial thing to identify.
I mean, plus so you're the leading expert in cybersecurity. So
if I don't want to be found, I'm going to be found. Now they can and do monitor my every word, my every image. I can't stop that. There's no technological way to do it. You can't encrypt it because they're going to break it. You can't do anything with it. But my location, I have signal. First of all, this room, I don't know if you can see it behind me.
It's a Faraday cage room. You just put
it's a fucking Faraday cage. No signal can enter, no signal can leave. We have location jammers everywhere because my location is so you can plant whatever software you want on my devices. Okay, we don't have any cell phones. We can't have cell phones. If we had one, we would be picked up in 10 minutes. So that's one of the unfortunate things. We can't have a cell phone, but who cares? I can talk to you and see you over the internet. But I'm living in a Faraday cage. No signal can enter or leave. We have signal jammers. I promise you, no one will find me. Now, since you can't find me, do you understand the freedom that gives me? I can poke any fucking government in this world with immunity. That's power. It doesn't feel like it, I promise you, because we can't go anywhere without disguising ourselves, without preparation, without hiding when we get there. And we can't have phones. We can't tell our relatives, not our children, our family, our mothers. I don't have a mother, but Janice does. Where we are, not our closest friends. We can't receive packages because we can't give anybody our address. I mean, and we can't have a bank account, obviously. We can't have a credit card, obviously. If we had a credit card, wherever we used it, suddenly the CIA would be there.
Right.
So
Anthony, and hold on, I gotta interrupt. Anthony, did you hear that? John McAfee bombshell dropped on your show. This is like verifying a lot of my conspiracy theories about John McAfee. He doesn't have a mother. Did you hear that? He was created in a laboratory. I knew it. Like I'm not surprised. But John, I did want to interrupt with a serious question to say that I understand how you have that unique freedom being in hiding the way that you are now. But we see on Facebook right now really blatant censorship of anything challenging the coronavirus narrative.
Yes.
I was at the protest in Phoenix last Monday. I don't know if you saw the picture of me with the Free Hugs t-shirt, running, trying to hug the cop, right? My fiance posted a couple videos from that, and they were taken down just for being a coronavirus protest, showing people not practicing appropriate social distancing. So while you can broadcast safely, how do you overcome the social media censorship?
Well, listen, Twitter has taken down 23 of my tweets within minutes of posting. However, I'm on ricecrypto. I get to say whatever the fuck I want. They're going to take down him. And every one of the 4 podcasters I talk to every fucking day of my life, I let you know. This is why I'm talking. Right? Please take no offense to this, Mr. Crypto. However, that's why I'm talking to you. Because take down my Twitter account, I'm not going to flying fuck. Who cares? I still get my voice out. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's why I want to give you a platform for your voice, man.
And you've done well. Thank you, my friend.
So, John, I've come to the same conclusion in a lot of what I do, that especially with the presidential campaign, it allows me to go and talk to people I would never talk to just doing my own show. But I've also seen, and I don't know if Anthony's experienced this or anybody else you've interviewed with, but I've had people tell me, hey, man, normally I get 3,000 or 4,000 views per video. I put up the video with my interview of you, and it only got 100 views. What's going on here? And I'm like, well, I hope it doesn't screw up your channel.
With me, it's the opposite, but only because people are looking for reasons to hate me. Do you understand? Right?
Well, you still have your Twitter. You can still
I hate that
broadcast
motherfucker. If I can just get 3 seconds of something he says that makes him look like a fucking idiot, I'm going to watch it. All right? So whatever numbers you get, Mr. Crypto, from mine, you have to divide it by 99 to get a real fucking viewer, okay?
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I deal with a lot of censorship and shadow banning, and this was something that Adam was dealing with back like in 2012. So, I mean, Adam has definitely made my channel very algo unfriendly, and I don't have a problem with that at all. I have no problem with that because I'm building my channel organically. I'm getting quality people, and eventually it's all going to catch up, and the world will start to see like what is up.
Of course.
So
here's the problem. See, truth spreads very slowly. Lies spread rapidly. But truth, well, when it comes out, it lasts forever. See, this is why you should not give a flying fuck what people think about what you say and do. Because if you're living, acting, and telling the truth, in the long run, that will be there forever. And the lie will be buried with time. I'm 74, I know. This is true. I have seen it over and over and fucking over. Oh, by the way, Adam, my language is unfortunately not as clean as yours.
Oh, Adam can go off. So I mean,
I know, I understand that, and also Adam,
he reserves himself very well.
Our platforms, while in spirit, are identical. I mean, I will say things like it just doesn't fucking matter who the president is.
I'm more polite than John, but I'll get over it with age too.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. When you're dealing with a fucking serious issue, politeness plays no part. I'm sorry. You know, if you ever read Sun Tzu's Art of War, ain't no politeness there. It's simply, are you going to survive or are you not? Are you going to leave, when you leave this world, it a better place for your children and grandchildren, or are you not? I mean, it's pretty simple. Ain't no use for politeness in war. And if you don't think we're in war, people, well, wake the fuck up, because we are.
Well, I mean, even Donald Trump has been saying that we are in war, you know. So I mean, it's a fact.
But his war is the war against the goddamn virus. The real war is the war against the government, please.
The war against him.
Yeah.
Well, not him personally. Listen, I wish it were that simple. I really wish it were that simple. How simple would that be? Who's the problem? Well, let's get rid of the motherfucker.
It's a one bullet problem.
Well, yeah, but let's not say that, please. You don't want to say that in the same room with me, because you will have to be. We'll have to find another goddamn place for you to sleep over here. All right? If they come after you, Adam.
There's one thing that I am genuinely competing with John on, where he is also way ahead of me, and that is having converted NSA agents who are listening to this conversation. You know, they have to replace this whole team every week because they're like, boss, I think John's onto something here. I kind of want to quit my job. You know, they take him off the McAfee team.
Shout out to the government.
I wish that actually happened. But no, see, I wish Donald Trump had the power to actually make a difference. But no, he's as much between a rock and a hard place as anybody else. Can you imagine at the beginning of this crisis? Because if you watch it, one day, the very beginning, Donald Trump says, and very, very sincerely, I don't think this is a big problem. The very next day, a totally different tune. What happened? The Republican leadership said, listen, it ain't just your job, asshole. It's 260 other motherfucking congressmen and senators in this party, and the 200 major goddamn donors. Now, if you don't change your fucking tune, just imagine what we are going to do to you. No, please God, that's how it works.
Oh, and no, I have no doubt that to a certain degree, Trump was bullied or pushed into doing this, and he fell for it. And you just made me think of a whole other angle here that I hadn't considered before, as opposed to what is the conspiracy here? Because it's such a mess. You know, the fact that different governments have such a patchwork of responses suggests to me there's not a single global conspiracy, and that they can do no more in the long run than bully us into hazmat suits. Okay, fine. But what you just made me think of here, what makes a lot more sense in explaining the coronaphobia crisis, is that it's an anti-Trump conspiracy, that they set him up and he fell for it. The liberal media, the Democrat politicians, and I'm not defending Trump. I'm saying that this reduces it to a partisan fight, that it's people who don't want Trump to have that power just fucking with him, going, we're going to make you look, you're going to take the correct response of downplaying it. We're going to bully you into feeding into it. You're going to fall for it so bad. You're going to brag about all the things that you did to shut down the economy to protect us from coronavirus. And then we're going to pull the rug out from underneath you afterwards. And it's going to come out anyway, because we're going to see that the coronavirus is no excuse for this.
I'm a statistician and a mathematician. That's got my training. Not a bad one. So I just look at numbers. I go on to WHO, I go on to Johns Hopkins, and I go on to the various sources of information in the various governments. One of the oddities is that New York City, run by a hardcore Democrat, had 11,000 deaths out of 8 million population. The top 10 largest cities in the world: Tokyo, the largest; Sao Paulo, Mumbai, New Delhi, on and on, 10 of them. You take all of the deaths in the total population, the death rate from coronavirus in New York City is 200 times greater than the world average for the world's largest cities. Well, New York is densely populated. Have you ever been to fucking New Delhi? No. Well, okay. New York, I actually had one guy go, well, New Yorkers, all the poor people. I go, have you ever been to Mumbai? All right, where the average wage is $2 a day? No. So now, 200 times? Please, God, can somebody explain that? Well, the explanation is this. The federal government gives $39,000 per diagnosed coronavirus patient that goes on a respirator. If they don't go on a respirator, you only get $13,000 for diagnosed. And the CDC put out guidelines saying you do not have to test all patients, or you do not have to determine the true cause of death if your experience and knowledge determines that it was coronavirus, then it is coronavirus. So of course, I mean, can you imagine 11,000 times 39,000? It's a $500 million fucking dollars for New York City. Now, you tell me who's not motivated to do something. So I follow the goddamn numbers and the money. What else is suspicious? Take the whole country of America and then take the entire population of the world. 200,000 deaths worldwide, 7.8 billion fucking people. How many people died in America of 328 million? 54 fucking thousand, 8 times the world average. And the world average includes countries with no medical care whatsoever. Now, you explain this to me. Do you not understand? The motivation is clear. Number one, if we make this a horror and Trump was late to do something, well, late to do something, what the fuck does that mean? Japan never did anything. They have 300 deaths in a population of 123 million fucking people. 1 million fucking people. 121 million fucking people. So the US total has a death rate 1,000 times greater than Japan's. And Japan never went on lockdown and got the virus at the same fucking time. So if you deal just with facts, now you go, well, the numbers are wrong, are they? My numbers come from the World Health Organization, from Johns Hopkins, and from, in this case, the Japan National Statistical Center. So please, and they all coincided. So people, this is a power play in America by the Democrats, in other countries by whoever's in power to get more power over the people. Has anybody looked at this $2 trillion fucking bailout?
It's crazy.
90%. Well, 90% of it was new laws. Among them was the FBI may now, in a state of emergency, now who's to define that? In a state of emergency, may detain anyone without a court order indefinitely. That was the word, indefinitely. Now, if you don't see that obviated every single one of the rights given to us as people from the Constitution, then you need to read it again. But nobody bothers to read it. Oh, $2 trillion, looking at the feds printing $2 trillion. That's the thing. Fuck that. That's minor. What's major is all the changes in laws. And we know, people, once a law is enacted, it never goes away. Well, look at Homeland Security still here. Over 20 years after 9/11, 30 years actually. Will anything ever go? No, laws don't disappear. They just add up. We have given away our democracy for what? Safety. We're afraid. The media said you're going to die from this virus. It was horrible. So what do? We said, oh, save us. The government says, yes, we can save you, but go home, lock your fucking doors, and all will be fine. We did. We went home. Well, I wasn't there in America. I'm over here where if I leave, if I open a goddamn door and go outside, I'm arrested, charged with a felony. That's what it's like where I am. But no, that's what they all did. Went home, locked the doors. Not a single person except in the state of Wisconsin. God bless you, Wisconsin, when 50,000 people went to the streets. Well, what's wrong with the people of America? Here's what's wrong. Number one, you have forgotten how to use your own minds. You don't think for yourself anymore. The media uses words like horror, staggering numbers. Are they staggering? No, far less than the flu. Horror? Well, yes, they have images of hospitals overwhelmed. What hospitals? Thank God someone put out a meme going, we send in photos of hospitals in there.
Yep.
They're all fucking empty. No. And so we, like fools, because we fear, and we would rather believe that a powerful thing like a government has our best interest in heart and will save us. And if you think any government on the face of this fucking planet has your best interest in heart, then please go back in your mother's basement and lock the door. We'll let you know when it's safe to come out.
Crazy,
John,
man.
I appreciate your perspective on the statistics, but I don't think you're taking the threat seriously enough here. According to the CDC, there was a case just last week where there was a skydiver he jumped out of an airplane, his parachute didn't open, and right before he hit the ground, he died from coronavirus. I mean, this thing is out there.
I admit that happens, okay, but it's rare. It's rare, okay? I read in the press yesterday that the coronavirus caused a young woman's heart to burst. Okay. No, please, God, look it up. I saw it. The people were passing it around. Oh, my God, the coronavirus will cause your heart to burst. Well, hey, listen, not in this universe where 1 and 1 is still 2. Now, in the universe where 1 and 1 is 22, like in California, well, maybe.
So John, I want to ask you, while I got you on this subject, I want to ask you one more really important question that I'm trying to answer.
We got a minute, guys, because like I'm trying to upgrade my account and I cannot upgrade it. I've been trying to upgrade it like for the past 10 minutes with my credit card.
Oh, shit.
Because I thought John had to end like 10 minutes ago.
I'm sorry. Listen, if I had a credit card, I'd give it to you.
Well, I'm trying to use my Cash App to update my Zoom, and for some reason, it's telling me that.
When did the recording stop?
Well, it's telling me we have 1 minute and 9 seconds left.
Listen, that's about all we have anyway. I'd say we say goodbye, tell each other we love each other, and come back another day. All right.
Well, I'd like to bring Adam back. Adam, if you're free, I'll call you back, and we'll get to
set back up. Let's do it. Yeah,
and unfortunately, I cannot do that myself. Not a problem, guys. All right, Adam, good to talk to you again. I think we're clear. Please, God, keep me in the fucking debates, all right? We are good for each other.
I'll do everything we can.
I promise you. And I promise you this, if it looks even remotely like you're going to win in the convention, I will throw every single one of my delegates your way. And because people will do, if they follow me, what I ask, I promise you. If they understand that if you don't do this, we'll split the vote and neither will win. If you support Adam, then I'll still be the VP.
Well,
and
John,
as the VP, I can say whatever I fucking want.
Thank you for your time, John. I really appreciate you, brother.
Now we're
okay.
good.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Adam, I'll call you here in just 1 second. Okay.
Good men.
3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me for the 7th time on the show is the one and only John McAfee. John, I appreciate you coming on. How you doing today, man?
Wel, een gift van de stoer en dan dit van de stoer kan maar hauch. Die vogelens fucking involved. Er was een roos duel. Duel de struggle best for talking. Okay?
I love it when you do this to me.
Oh,
man.
Chinesische? Song gelernt Paraguay. Ik ben away by Jansi Kwai. No, Chinesische? Questa lingua. English.
It is
Those
good
of
seeing
you.
you again, my friend. How are you?
It's good. It is good seeing you. I would like to say those of you who actually give a fuck. Well, does that not beg the question? What is a fuck worth? I mean, corn prices in Las Vegas is $320 for an hour. But you must have more serious things to talk about. So please, my friend, I'm happy to be on your show.
I do have half serious stuff. While we're on the roll, though, I mean, I figured since we're here at number 7, I did have some kind of off the wall questions for you. And what is a typical day for John McAfee?
Oh my fucking God. I wish there was one because I could prepare for it if there were. I mean, seriously, if I had a typical day, good God, would that not be the greatest of all fucking things? But I don't. Well, today, I can tell you what today was like. Today was an odd sort of day. Janice, please come here, baby. I need you to please come here. Thank you very much. She just got her hair done today.
Oh, okay.
No,
I love Miss Janice.
I love Miss Janice too. Else
I know you do.
I would not fucking be with her. Janice.
Hi. Hey, Janice.
Just got her hair done.
That looks beautiful.
Smells beautiful. Tastes beautiful. It's beautiful. So
I love it. It looks really good on you.
Now, if those of you who do not understand black women's hair, this is a 6-hour job.
It was not. It was like 4 hours.
Maybe 3 o'clock. Well, 10 to 3 is what? 5. Anyway,
Whatever.
We won't argue about numbers.
It takes a long time, yes.
I get that.
Long. So I'm on my own for half the day. Now that's a serious
problem. Yes.
It's a serious problem.
That's a problem for the world.
You do not want to leave me alone for too long. Okay, so
unsupervised. Yes.
Pardon?
Unsupervised.
Yeah. So my day was today. Now that you asked, was an extraordinarily unusual day. I chose not to take my normal hit of heroin in the morning. Why? Because it sort of makes me lazy. And
for fuck's sake.
instead, I had my security and driver drive me to a place along the Black Sea that serves the best coffee on the planet and had about 18 shots of espresso. That set my day off correctly. So, you know, Mr. Rice Crypto, say hi.
Hello, sir.
How
enjoy
you doing,
your
Janice?
interview.
Thank you for everything as always. I appreciate.
Kiss.
But you're crying. Get to work.
Thank you.
But you never failed to amaze me, man. I appreciate the awesome little intro, and I know I had some computer problems, so I apologize for being a little bit.
Not a problem. Listen, I have not very much to do, obviously, which is why I'm always in trouble.
The next thing I would like to know is, what do you know about time travel?
Well, you know what? Other than on my most extreme psychedelic trips, I haven't done much on it. I really had. So I'm not the person to ask. I mean, let's see. I did time travel on some serious DMT mixed with LSD and some ayahuasca once.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but see, whoa. Here's the problem with that. I time traveled into the future. However, it wasn't just a simple, I'm here and I'm now in the future. No, I lived an entire fucking lifetime. All right. Got jobs, got married, had children, got divorced, got sick, was in the hospital, finally ended up in line at a goddamn bank, and someone tapped me on the shoulder, and I'm sitting back where I was sitting 48 and a half years earlier. And that went on over and over and over to the point that even today, well, not today, the last time, okay, here's the last time it happened. It was in 2007. I was at my bank in Woodland Park, Colorado. I was in line again. I don't like lines anymore because of that first experience of someone tapping me on the shoulder. But anyway, I'm in line, and, and it's a long line. I'm by one of these little tables, and they have a calculator attached to one of these thin metallic, that you can't steal, you can't rip it off. So I took it and I'm playing with it. So I do the square root of 5. The square root of 5, people, is 22360 plus da 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 da. But those first 5 numbers are the first 5 numbers of my American Social Security number. All right, so now I freak. It's going to happen again. I'm going to go back to St. Louis, Missouri in 19, when the fuck was that? 71 or 69, who the fuck knows? And I grab onto the table and I start screaming, no, I'm not going back. Thank God I had tens of millions of dollars in that fucking bank. So the manager comes out, takes me by the shoulder and says, please come with me, Mr. McAfee. So took me into his office. 15 minutes, I was okay. Now, had I not had a shitload of cash in that bank, God knows I would be in a mental institution now. So I still get those fucking, not flashbacks exactly, but these instances where I think, good God, it's going to happen again. And I'm going to fight, because this went over and over and over. So that is the worst time travel you can fucking imagine, my friend.
Oh, it sounds like it. And I mean, ayahuasca is something that I definitely want to experience. I've done DMT and I've taken a lot of LSD.
Do not mix ayahuasca and LSD. I love to mix drugs, which is why I can tell you what not to do. Don't mix DMT, ayahuasca, and LSD.
No, I would just do ayahuasca by itself, just for the spiritual elevation.
Right. If you do these drugs by themselves, with the exception, of course, of LSD, which rarely people will fuck you up, they're generally safe. All right. But you start mixing this shit like I do, because, if you do LSD enough, you want to go, well, fuck, what if I take DMT with this shit? Oh, what if I take mescaline? What if I take, psilocybin? What about psilocybin, mescaline, LSD, and
all the above?
Yeah, and so eventually you're going to fuck yourself over like I do constantly.
Right. Makes sense. Well, what about aliens and or extraterrestrials and on the real, in the reality sense?
Mama, I have had sex with probably 5,000 women. At least 50 of them, I'm certain, were aliens. I'm sorry, just, 2 of them tried to shoot me in the head. 1 almost succeeded, blew out my left earlobe. Amy Herbert, look it up on the internet. She went on national television and admitted it. So you tried to shoot me? Yes, I did. Why? I don't know. I was just jealous. No. So if that's not an alien, then you tell me what is.
Any UFOs though, or flying saucers, or beings, or entities from outside space?
I have taken, my friend, so many drugs, and I have put myself in so many unquestionably weird situations that I just can't say. Have I seen them? Fuck yes! Were they real? I don't have a clue.
Okay.
In fact, I do not have a clue whether that woman I lived with in Kathmandu for 2 weeks was real. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. You're asking the wrong person here.
What about QAnon? What are your thoughts on QAnon? Do you think there's any legitimacy to this, or is it just...
Well, now we're talking about something I can talk about.
Okay.
No, of course there's no legitimacy. It's a bunch of very, very clever people who can more or less anticipate what's going to happen, which anybody with some fucking common sense can do. No. See, here's something. Because, listen, I did found, people, the world's largest computer security firm. Now, I mean, how did I do that? How did the greatest safe manufacturer become the greatest safe manufacturer? By being able to break into everybody else's safe. Duh. Please, would you buy a safe from someone who can't crack a safe? No, that would be insane. So no, if I want to find the truth of something, please, people, if it's in digital fucking form, I will find the truth of it. And no, QAnon, they're just some smart people anticipating. No, that's all there are.
Okay, I was just curious.
I
wanted to get your take on it.
I'd like to give you more hope, but unfortunately, in that situation, no.
I don't want. I mean, we had fun. I want the truth and transparency as an expert that knows the internet and knows security protocols and all that good stuff.
Listen, people, if John fucking McAfee can't find the truth of a digital occurrence, and nobody can. I'm sorry. I did found that company. I know that's tragic and hard to fucking. What's hard to believe? He'll go, you could not have done that. You're a madman. Well, yes, I am a madman. I've always been a madman. But I did found that company.
Well, I think smart people.
I am one of the greatest hackers in the fucking world. So get used to it, people.
And when I think most people that would be on the level of a genius also have some sort of eccentricness or some sort of oddity about them, because I feel like I've been told this. I've been told this personally by people who work for you, that you do not think like anybody else. That you have your own thought process, your own thought patterns. So
I do, and it is. If you're looking for an alien, well,
maybe
I've got to be it. I've got to be it, because no, I know this. I mean, when I ran McAfee, I had 6,000 employees. We were the largest fucking computer company in the world at the time. We had almost 85% of the world market for computer security, and people would come in and go, how did you do that? I go, listen, I don't know. I said, no, it's too fucking weird. I had people quit because they were afraid of me. And I've never done them any fucking harm. They go, listen, I'm sorry. I can't work in this environment. I go, what environment? How are you doing what you do? I'm sorry, I don't know. But I mean you no harm. So I've had vice presidents quit because they could not understand what I was doing. Well, fuck me. I'm sorry. Have I harmed you? Have I fucked your wife? Have I stolen your children and sold them into slavery?
Did you though? Because I still
no, of course I did not. No, of course not, people. I had better things to do. I mean, first of all, well, maybe fucking a wife. Okay, scratch that. Maybe not many times, but stealing children and selling. Dude, I was personally making $1 million a fucking day. I'm going to steal children and sell them into slavery. Fuck, please. It makes no sense. But did I sleep with my executives' wives? I mean, yeah, maybe a few fucking times. But did I force them? No, never.
Love it. Okay, so the past couple interviews I've done, we've been talking about your run for presidency, and that's kind of come to an end at this point. So we got a couple years ago.
I lost the primary, which I expected. I think the Libertarian Party is going to disappear this year. I really do. It's tragic. It's the third party, but I think they fucked up. Not for not voting for me.
Well, just who they selected in general. They didn't go down.
Yes, it's like, what? Jesus God, what were you thinking, people? Yes, of course, a woman. I am not sexist. My wife is right here. Trust me, I'm not sexist. I'm not racist. However, the person they chose is like, have you lost your fucking minds? If they get 1% of the vote, I will be shocked.
I agree. Well, what I was going to say is I didn't have a chance to really ask you about anything related to like your McAfee decks, and now you've got your project Ghost that you are involved with. I'd like to get some updates. I don't know where you want to start, but I'd like to talk about Ghost, and I'd like to talk about your decks.
Yeah, you bet. Well, okay, so Ghost. Now, all right, it's no secret that my hot button in life is privacy, because we don't have any people. If you have a smartphone,
we're losing it.
When we're losing what little we have. If you got a smartphone, what is that fucker for? It's to spy on you, where you are, who you are, what you're doing, where you're doing it, who you're doing it with. Holy shit, people, do you understand what you've given up? And our financial transactions, good God, if you have a bank account, there are no secrets anymore, people, not from anybody, certainly not from a government. And I think our financial transactions are probably the most important to keep private and secure. Why? Because, first of all, governments, especially in America, because taxation is illegal in America, even though we have it, that's how you're controlled, through your finances. Where does it come from? Where does it go? And once they know that, you're fucked, people. So, so obviously I started the Ghost system. Started working on it 2.5 years ago. We currently have the Ghost coin. It's small. It's got a market cap of maybe 25 million US right now. However, it's growing. We have the Ghost Exchange, the very first truly distributed and decentralized exchange, where we don't ask you who you are. We don't ask you for documentation. We don't ask for a credit card number or your bank account or your email address or your IP. Nothing. Totally fucking anonymous. And the Ghost coin, which is a completely private coin, as private, if not more so, than Monero. What's the difference between Ghost and Monero? Yeah, Monero is Monero is extremely private. I'm not dissing it, people. It's an extremely private coin. However, if you ever want to get out of it into cash or Bitcoin or something else, you're fucked. The only way you can do it is on a centralized exchange. Well, now what? Suddenly, try exchanging anything on a centralized exchange without giving them your documentation, maybe even your fucking passport, your bank ID, your address, your credit card, every fucking thing about you. So suddenly, I've got a completely private, beautiful coin, and I want money. You're fucked. Aha, you're that motherfucker. Aha, we got you now. No, Ghost is the only privacy coin that will run on a decentralized exchange. But far more important, coming out in the end of September, we're late, people, 2 weeks, okay, will be the Ghost phone service. Now, what is this? I've been hearing about this, yeah. Listen, the people are loving it. Our beta testers are refusing to give up their fucking Sims. Yeah, I didn't know you were doing beta testing. I figured I would have been invited to this. I'm kind of a little bit offended. Well, fuck me. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know there was a beta test. You know Janice's email address. I'll hit her up. You hit her up and say, I want a fucking eSIM. Now, you got to have an eSIM compatible phone. That means, I don't know, Samsung S20 or above. That's Samsung S20, Samsung Flip, Samsung Fold, Note 10 Plus, or Note S10. I don't think the S10. No, S10 will not support. The Note 10 Plus. Oh, the Note 10. Will that support eSIMs? I'll check. I'll look into it. Okay, I don't think it does. I don't think it does, but maybe. Okay. But I do know that all the S20s will support eSIMs. So let's talk about this. The Google. Let's see what else. The Google phone, the latest iPhone will all support eSIM. So all you need to do, if you have a telephone that is eSIM compatible, take your SIM card out and lay it on the table. Download our eSIM. Suddenly, you are live. I don't give a shit if you were on AT&T or whoever. I don't care. We will work. Put in our eSIM, and suddenly you're invisible. No one will ever find where you are or who you are, because when you don't have to sign up for our service. You go onto our website, send us some cash, and we send you an eSIM, and that's all. We don't ask who you are. We don't ask what's your email address, and it will work on every fucking phone service everywhere, people. Well, and there's no monthly fee. 35, yeah, oh, absolutely. There's a huge monthly fee. I'm sorry. Now, this is not for surfing Pornhub and shit like that. No, If that's what you want to do, put your SIM card back in, people, and shift to your SIM card because we're way too expensive. I mean, like we're for a gigabyte. God, I hate to say it, we're almost $30 for a gigabyte in the US. Depends on your country. We support 35 countries, almost everywhere in Europe except for Portugal. Everywhere in well, not everywhere. We don't. The United States we support. We don't support Canada. We support Russia. Can't support China. But 35 countries. Okay, most of you people. We support England. Every English language country except for Australia. Sorry.
Well, you mentioned Canada. You said no Canada either, though.
Yeah, we can't. You know, the Canadian phone services is like it's Stone Age.
Okay.
It was built by people with rocks and hammers, so we can't do it there. I'm sorry. But if you're in a truly developed country like the United States, Russia, England, everywhere in Europe, in Western Europe, we got almost all of Eastern Europe, but all of Western Europe except for Portugal, who also built their phone system with rock tools and flint stones. We can't help you in Portugal. But everywhere else, yes, if you're in a system. Now, how did we do this? Well, it's because, okay, the advances in technology are happening so fucking fast. And especially governments, because governments kind of, everybody loves eSIMs. You no longer have to go to the store to get a physical card to put in your fucking phone. Download it from somebody. Well, that process opens up infinite possibilities for motherfuckers like me. Because they go, oh, well, thank you. Look what I can do. So I have created, through the new eSIM telecommunication system, a ghost, which they cannot fix, not for at least another 10 years. I can't help you after that.
Right.
Yeah, so the ghost phone, and please email Janice and we'll send you. I'll send you free. We're giving people 500 megabytes of free data. That's it, dude. Once you've used it, it's over. So cool. Don't go on to Pornhub and start watching videos. You'll run it out.
No.
But if you use our eSIM, and you can switch back and forth, you don't have to take your hard SIM out. On the eSIM compatible phones, you go into settings and go, I want to do eSIM now. So it shuts off your hard SIM and goes to us, the ghost phone service, in which case you're now fucking invisible. So please, people, understand, $30 for a whole fucking gigabyte, that's more expensive than God. Nevertheless, you should be using it to send texts, emails, communicate, voice communication, etc., which for 1 gigabyte, fuck me, you can't burn it up in a month. If you're watching videos, fuck me, I can't help you, dude. Okay?
Right. No, yeah, it makes sense. When is this going to be?
Well, if you want to spend $500 a month, you can watch. You can go onto Netflix if you want and watch full-time movies. But I'm sorry, we did not intend it for that. We intended it for those situations where you needed privacy.
I love it.
And anonymity. And an inability to locate you. Well, fuck me, we can give you that.
And what do you expect in the public release?
I said September 15th. A month ago, I said September 15th. Now we're up to September 30th. And that's my devs telling me that. Okay. Let's be honest, people. Probably the middle of October.
Middle of October. Okay, that's cool.
I'm just saying.
A couple months away.
You know, I've been a developer all my life. I know when developers say, we're going to get it done on the 15th, they go, yeah, I don't know. And then the 15th is 2 weeks away. You know what, boss? We're not going to make the 15th. So I'd say October 15th. That's a month. Sorry.
Cool. And what about, I've heard something about a credit card. I know you did something in the past. Are you going to be doing
that thing in the past? You know, I'm sorry, I got sucked into this motherfucker.
Right. No, I heard. We don't have to talk about it. We don't even have to give it attention. But is there a credit card attached to Ghost?
We all make mistakes. Now, this time it's for real. The Ghost credit card is for real. That's coming out on September 22nd, people. And you can take a credit card. You can load that credit card with Ghost. And Ghost has been, well, moderately stable, you know, between $1.20 and $1.50. Okay. However, people, and this is my first announcement here. My devs are going to shoot me. Fuck it. Who cares? Now,
You're the boss.
okay. September 25th, we will be announcing and releasing the first, absolutely the first stable privacy coin. We're calling it Ghost DAI. Now, DAI for 3 years has never varied more than 1.5% from the US dollar, up or down. It's a stable fucking coin. And, you know, and if you think you've lost, well, I lost 1%, well, wait 2 days and it'll come back, all right? Because it just fluctuates. We have wrapped that coin in the Ghost protocol. So all you got to do is you you deposit your DAI into a smart contract. We're not even fucking involved. We've written this. This is entirely out of our control. Into a smart contract. You will then be issued the Ghost DAI, meaning that every fucking transaction is totally private. No one can see it, and anytime you want, any fucking time, you can either exchange your Ghost DAI token on our distributed exchange, or go back and get your DAI back and you know, cash it in anywhere. Do you understand the beauty of this?
No, it's awesome.
This means that if you're on the dark web and you're selling, I don't give a shit what, hitmen, drugs, you know, prostitutes, I don't care. Which everybody, that's where most of our privacy coins are used. You don't have to worry that Monero might drop 20% in 4 hours. No, Ghost DI is not going to drop or rise. Sorry, you're not going to make money off of it either. It's not an investment. It's a tool to be used for absolute private fucking communications. Now, I was not supposed to say that. I've been drinking, well,
I'm not going to hold you responsible.
Heavily today, and therefore my tongue is loose. So you folks are the first persons to hear about this. And assuming I survive till tomorrow, because developers have, in fact, I believe, whacked their superiors. I mean, it happens in wars all the time. You know, you've got sergeants that, there's even a word for it. I don't remember what it is, where you whack a superior officer because they're assholes. What's that called, baby? Oh, she's asleep. And fragging.
Right.
So unless I'm fragged for opening my mouth, then I'll be able to talk about it again tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right, my friend, we're out of time. So.
Okay. Well, John, I really appreciate your time, and I'll reach out to Janice about that again, man. I really appreciate you as always.
I'll get you, but if I do this, I expect you to at least make a note of it somewhere, say something about it on.
Oh, I'm going to, and I guess I want to reach out to you an email, because I had talked to Reborn 1002, your developer who did also the Unitrade. I talked to him. And I'd like to get involved with what you're doing as far as with Ghost as a content creator. So I'll reach out to you.
Ghost right now is the tiniest baby, okay?
But I love the ideas.
We're just nursing it to keep it from dying.
Even beyond the like Pivx white paper issue, I love this concept and idea.
But let me tell you something. When we get the phone combined with the coin, especially the stable privacy coin, and the exchange, we people will have something for the first time that can't ever be shut down by any government anywhere on this fucking planet. If I live long enough to complete this, if I can keep hiding in this fucking dungeon,
right,
long enough to finish this, I will have given you people a tool to free yourself from this overburdened Stalinist.
This 1984 George Orwell world where we're going into.
That's where we are, people. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Do you not see it? I mean, cameras on fucking street corners, your cell phones that spy on you, your Alexa, which listens to you constantly to say something Please, people, wake the fuck up. So if I can survive long enough, well, it's just a few more months. If I can survive 6 months,
You're going to probably survive forever.
I will have left the world my legacy, a tool that no government will ever be able to shut down, stop, impede, or impair in any fashion. And thank you, my friend.
Thank you, John, as always. I look forward to the next one.
All right.
Have a
Anytime,
good one,
my friend.
dude.
Okay.